Alrighty, people. How we doing? How we living? How we feeling? We've got an absolute banger of a live stream for you today.
Chitty chitty, they call it.
Could not be more excited to be here with you on this day, the 14th of January where you are, the 15th of January where we are. Let's make some history. We will never have this day again in our lives. So let's make the most of it, okay? Appreciate you for being here. Let us know what, I see so many people in the chat already. What's up, Brizzleton? Welcome in. What's up, Jelly? Shore, Andrew's in the building. We've got Josh. We've got, I mean, a lot of these guys having conversations with each other, which is actually awesome to see. Big Rice Balls in the building. Daniel Macy. All right. We forgot to even talk to our NFL draft countdown expert, but he already knew his job. He knew his role. He was ready to go. He has informed us that there are 100 days until the NFL draft. Big shout out to Macy. Hot Rock Nation's in the building. We've got Kale, I think I'm saying that right, in the building. What's Gucci? Dominic, Brandon, Sparrow, Jack, Josh, Ryan. What's up, people? Welcome in. We appreciate you for being here with us. Hey, be a friend as today's stream begins and hit that like button to show some love. Got a like goal today of 100 likes. With your help, I just know we can do it. I know you guys, and I know that we can do it all together. So absolutely thrilled to be here with you. We have been very intentional to try to do as many rookie drafts on live streams and startup drafts on live streams, and that's what we're going to do here today. Yeah. So if people, and I'm just assuming, assuming can make an ass out of you and maybe me, but I'm assuming people might want to join us today. And if they do want to join us, Badaki, how could they go about joining this mock draft?
Yeah, guys, join our Discord. That link is in the description. That link is also in the chat, as you can see here. Go to the Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs. Then go to announcements. That's how you can join each and every mock draft, whether you are watching now or later, okay? And it is first come, first serve. And if you have been in the mock draft before, you can join. But maybe let somebody new come in. But no pressure.
What does the ATM emoji even mean?
Cash money, kid. Cash money. All right, I'm sending that link out here. Once again, Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs. Go to announcements. 3, 2, 1. There you go. There goes that link.
All right. Let's get it. This will be a 12-team super flex PPR. We'll do a tight end premium. Do we want third round reversal? Yeah, we can do a third round reversal. We didn't do it last time. So we can switch it up a little bit and add that third round reversal. Now, here's the deal. We will have rookies involved in this startup mock, okay? Now, if you want to draft a rookie, it's very simple. All you need to do, that's why kickers are available, is draft a kicker and then put it in the chat who you want that to be. And Badaki and I will use our Voodoo Mama Juju to put the rookie in for you.
Mama Juju.
We appreciate y'all for being here with us, and let's get this thing popping here in 3, 2, 1.
Popping.
Roxanne.
You can't see who's active anymore on Sleeper, which is interesting.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say that too. There's no little green notification that someone's active or not, is there?
I wonder why they took that away. Maybe it was, giving up people's privacy or whatever. If that makes any sense.
That sounds like bullshit to me. I call bullshit. But I am currently scouting for V2 of our rookie report, and I've got a huge list of players. Thought I would just share with the community. I'm going to be scouting Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, Ewers, Beck, Will Howard, Show, Tyler Shuck, I think is how you say his name, Dylan Gabriel. Running backs I need to scout. LaQuint Allen, I know nothing about. Khalil Mullings out of Michigan, I need to give a scout. Bashul Tootin, Taj Brooks, I need to go in depth on. Alec A.O. Manor, Matthew Golden, who, by the way, got a really big boost of confidence from Dane Brugler, one of the best minds in the draft industry.
I saw that. I was like, whoa.
A lot of you guys may or may not have seen this, but Dane tweeted out recently about Matthew Golden. And where did he say that? I swear he said that somewhere.
No, sorry, it was a tweet. Or I must have. Unless somebody else must have quoted him or something.
basically what Dane said is that he thinks Matthew Golden could be the number one receiver in the class. And I was like, whoa. I mean, that is...
Unless we read it wrong, because I definitely saw that tweet, and unless somebody was just taking the piss on the guy.
Yeah, so I need to scout him. Very excited. I did love him out of Houston, so I'm sure I'll love him with Texas. He was the most consistent. I'm also going to scout Savion Williams, Nick Nash. Everybody in our community is asking me to scout Nick Nash, Ty Felton, Pat Bryant, Caden Prather, and of course some of the other tight ends as well, like Aradon Gazdin, Mason Taylor, Gunnar Helm. Scouting a bunch of these, top, not non-top names that are valuable, that could be valuable at least.
Yeah, makes sense.
That is a good point, Sam. Beck did transfer to Miami, which is the right move. Honestly, I think Quinn Ewers coming to the draft, definitely not the right move for him. I think it's a bit silly, but let's see. I mean, he's probably going to be like a third round pick.
He probably would have been. He probably had a transfer. There's no way they let him start with the Archie there.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. All right. So Josh Allen was the 101. Makes sense. Jaden Daniels was the 102. As you guys know, last time we did the startup, I took the 101. I took Jaden Daniels. I can't think of a reason not to have Jaden Daniels as the number one quarterback in Dynasty right now, but I do think it's in a tier with Josh Allen and Lamar, so I can definitely see it going either way. Jalen Hurts as the 104 is not crazy. It's funny because he's just an average NFL quarterback, but really good for fantasy football because of the way they utilize him and all the weapons around him. Then we see Jamar Chase come off the board at the 105. A lot of people probably know this, but I don't think they actually realize how crazy this is. So, did you know that there was one wide receiver who scored over 20 points per game this year?
Yeah, I was making a graphic last night. It was Jamar Chase.
Dude, insane.
Like 23, and I don't think there was no one near within 5 points.
He averaged over, I think, 23.7 points per game or something crazy like that. And I think the next highest was 18.7 or 9 or something on the entire season. He was in a complete world on his own. So
yeah, no question.
What I'm confused about is why Joe Burrow is still available and why Patrick Mahomes goes ahead of him. But I will take Joe Burrow here at the 108. If you look at the Flock Fantasy site, he's actually my 4th overall ranked player in a Superflex startup. So I'll take him at 8th overall. And what I would say is a discount on a player who reminded people how good he was this year. I mean, if the Bengals make the playoffs, is he not a serious MVP candidate? I think he is.
Let me see where they put they have Joe Burrow in keep trade cuts. QB4, okay.
Averaged 22.5 points per game, which was 3rd best on a points per game basis. It was also a career high for him in points per game at 22.5. So yeah, he's 100% dog.
Got the dog in there, kid.
CeeDee Lamb comes off the board. Then Jahmyr Gibbs as well. Yeah, I mean, look, we typically don't build around running backs, but if you're going to do it, Jahmyr Gibbs is definitely one that you would do it around.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, especially the way he finished. I mean, he was I guess he was like the fantasy playoff darling, essentially. He was going off in the fantasy playoffs. He did everything that you needed him to do if you had Jahmyr Gibbs. Which I'm going to try and look this up right now because I've been asking this question and I have the ability to do it.
What question?
I would like to see those splits with and without David Montgomery in the points for,
Right. Sure.
Because I think that is going to be a huge factor that a lot of people aren't recognizing. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs was great with David Montgomery, but what did he truly do with David Montgomery?
Is Han the man with us, by the way?
I hope so.
Because Stroud just got auto-picked. But, yeah, actually, so go ahead. So Gibbs with and without David Montgomery because... And you can say that for the year 2024, I guess, is what you wanted to look at?
Yeah, just 2024.
Because we obviously can access that. In fact, I can tell you here that
oh my gosh.
averaged
Oh
32
my
points per
gosh,
game
dude.
without David Montgomery.
Oh my god. I literally just clicked enter.
But David Montgomery's not
And
going anywhere, though. You
no, he's
know?
not going anywhere.
So,
That's what I'm saying. I feel like people love. I'm not saying Dana Mason made the wrong choice. I made the wrong pick. I'm just saying, like, man, that's what people are going to remember going into next year. And you can see, and he's well worth of being the RB1 in Dynasty. He's
yeah.
probably going to be a top 3 pick, a top 4 pick in redraft. I just think you have to lower your expectations when you think about that just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Sure. Okay, so we see Lamb, Gibbs, Stroud, Amon-Ra, Puka, Bowers, May, and Herbert all come off the board. Puka's gone. I'm just looking at my startup rankings. Amon-Ra's gone. Gibbs is gone. Man, I was definitely going to take Drake May if he was available. I like that pick, Daniel Macy. And I think the value here is at non-quarterback now, personally. I'm either going to go Bijan Robinson or a wide receiver. And it's just impossible to find another Bijan. I'll go Bijan at the 205. I think Gibbs and Bijan are the only running backs I'd be willing to take in the first 2 rounds of a startup because you just can't find them anywhere else. You just can't find these guys. You can't find top 15 NFL draft picks who have put up impressive rookie years and then even beyond that have, had very, very impressive second years where they're the best running backs in fantasy football. And you get them heading into their 3rd year as these true superstar workhorse, draft capital backed. I mean, it's hard to find these guys. And maybe we find another this class. I think it's possible. But you have to sell your entire soul to get a Jahmyr Gibbs or a Bijan Robinson on your team right now in Dynasty. You have to sell
no question.
your family.
3 first-round picks, essentially, or maybe 2, to get some of those guys on your team right now. It goes Malik Nabis, a guy that I was hoping falls to me there.
He would have been my pick. He definitely would have been my pick. Right. Styles has a great question here. I see you guys in the chat. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for showing love and being here with us. Do us a favor. Hit that like button to show some love. Got a like goal today of 100 likes. We're only 39 away now. You guys are awesome. But Styles brings up a great question. I've been thinking about this as well. Do you think Deontay Johnson's done in the NFL? He just got let go of an NFL team that's still in the playoffs that needed wide receiver help. I can't wrap my head around the Deontay Johnson situation because this is a guy, when he was in Carolina with Andy Dalton, we're talking about him as a must start every week. Top 12 guy in your rankings. And then he gets traded. Don't know what happened with this situation. Obviously, we didn't have people all on the same page. I have no idea what to make of Deontay Johnson right now. I do think, low-key, I'm viewing the situation as, shoot, if you could send a 4th round pick for him, I'm doing it. I mean, he's going to be a free agent.
I just think it has to be... I think there was a lot of situations where he could have been the guy, and he wasn't. There were so many opportunities for him to be the guy. Obviously, Carolina, he was the guy. He was successful there for a little stint. And then he goes to... There goes Trey McBride. I'm on the clock here. And then he goes to another team. I forgot. What was the team he went to? The Ravens. And then obviously, that's not a pass-happy team, but he definitely could have been the number 1 guy. Doesn't get onto the field.
He could have been 2. But
I think he could have surpassed Zay personally.
I don't
like
think
if he was fully into the playbook. I'm on the clock here, and this is 3rd round reversal, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Did this guy go already? Oh shit, Justin Herbert did go.
Yep, he go.
Okay,
but there's another name you can take here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take him most likely. I'm just triple checking because I know quarterbacks are most likely. I'm assuming quarterbacks gonna be gone.
There it is. I thought he was a big value right there. I love that pick. In fact, I'd have him and Herbert pretty much back to back in my rankings. So Herbert goes at the 204, Nick's at the 210. I think that makes a ton of sense. Yeah, I like the pick a lot.
Yeah, I do. And got Lamar Jackson and Brother Bo. I mean, talk it up. But yeah, look, I think it has to be the right situation. I'm not sure where he's going to thrive right now.
It's a weird one. Yeah, I mean, let's hear from the community here. What's up, Albert? Welcome in. Hannah says Deontay coming to the Cards to replace Dortch. Scribbles has no interest. Style says it's a head scratcher for sure. I mean, I'd send a future fourth for him in the leagues. Yeah, I think I would as well. Talk about value plummeting. It is very, very weird. Jelly says, I'm wondering if he just brings down the locker room too much or something. Yeah, I mean,
maybe it's just like a mental thing. Maybe like he was dealing with some mental stuff, and it wasn't like he wasn't the person. Like the team keeps making the moves for him.
Yeah.
You know what? We're just gonna have to release you, man. Go get it right. He's not announcing anything. You know, I don't know.
It's a strange situation. I will grant that to anyone who is, weary on the situation. It's weird. There's no two ways about it. All right, our first rookie does come off the board here after Marvin and Love were the last two picks, and no surprise, it is Ashton Genty. He comes off the board here at the 301. If Ashton Genty, everyone wants him to go to the Cowboys. If he does go to the Cowboys, let's talk about where he would actually be ranked in startups, because I think he's probably right after Nico Collins. If, like in this world, if he actually goes to the Cowboys, he's probably late second round. There will be some people who might talk themselves into putting him right where Bijan is,
Yeah, I agree. The more and more I think about it, I don't think he's fallen to the Cowboys, personally. I think he'll be a top 8 pick, just like we saw Jahmyr Gibbs. Wasn't Jahmyr Gibbs a top 8 pick?
Yeah.
So I think he's going to fall within that range. But the thing is, it's very slim. Like, if the quarterbacks are gone, might as well go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
But then the rest is like,
yeah.
So nice little run there. Wide receivers: Drake London, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, Lab McConkey, and then Richie Rich off the board.
Yeah, I think I got a video coming out soon. Rashee Rice is featured in it, as well as Bucky Irving. I've had like this fight with our comment section for the past week about Bucky Irving. The amount of people telling me I have him ranked too high and I can't take him in a certain place or wherever. I'm excited for that video to come out because I think it's probably the best take I've had since the CJ Stroud take last year when I said to sell high on him. So I'm excited for you guys to watch that video. That will be out your Monday, I think, next week. But Rashee Rice is in that video as well. That's why I brought it up. Yeah, I mean, absolute alpha. Before Rashee Rice went down with that injury, he had a higher utilization rate than Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. I mean, he was the definition of an alpha for this team. He was 6th in targets per game, 2nd in fantasy points per game, or 3rd, sorry, at 21.6. He was absolutely dominant. It's not like the Chiefs are in a position to draft someone else outside of Xavier Worthy, who, let's be honest, is a field stretcher. They're having to use him in ways they don't really want to right now, but he's a field stretcher. Yeah. And as far as, the suspension, which is going to happen, it doesn't faze me. I'm not going to, I will always and forever take the suspension injury discount on wide receivers with elite upsides. So after that, Achane went off the board, then Caleb, and then our second rookie, which this is Tet McMillan. Okay, so let's start a conversation. Tet McMillan comes off the board right by Caleb Williams. That means, in theory, if Tet is valued around the 102, you're telling me every player beyond Tet now you could send the 102 for. Meaning names like Garrett Wilson, you can send the 102 for. Kyler, some of these quarterbacks. AJ Brown. So it's just a conversation starter. But AJ Brown goes off the board, then Saquon Barkley comes off the board.
Oh, I want to say on the comeback there. That's what I was contemplating.
Shout out to Kim K.
Shout out to Kim K. Great supporter of the show. I mean, hope she's safe with, the fires. That's terrible. That's actually so bad. That's actually not okay.
That's actually messed up. And that actually might be what cancels us. Of all
That
the things
actually
you've
might
said.
be what cancels us. I apologize. And if you are in LA, I hope you actually are safe. Is it over, by the way?
I don't think it's over.
Are they out?
But
Are they still going?
I lived about 2 years in LA, and it's incredibly sad seeing the devastation currently happening. Streets that I would drive daily are completely burnt down. It's absolute chaos. But I wish everybody there safe. I know I've been talking to a lot of friends in LA, and Orange County is where a lot of people are kind of going to right now to stay safe. Wyatt says he's buying Rice everywhere he can on rebuilding teams. I agree. Yes, Rice is going to be suspended at some point. He will have some sort of suspension for sure. Happen says post-combine, Burden is going to be wide receiver 1, and the draft dude's physical traits are insanity. He's already my wide receiver 1, Happen, so I'm with you, brother. I am obsessed with Luther Burden. But I do still like Ted. It's not a for some reason, if you don't have Ted number 1, you don't like him. That's not the case for me. I do love Ted. I'm just obsessed with Luther Burden. It's more of a compliment to his game. Iston says, didn't think I would be seeing Bo Nix before Caleb Williams. I mean, I have it that way. I have it ranked that way. Obviously, you do as well, Badaki, if you made that pick. But, I mean, we're talking about a guy in Bo Nix who, after the first 3 weeks, which, granted, were a struggle, but if you look like week 5 onwards, amongst quarterbacks, Bo Nix was one of the best starters in fantasy football. I mean, he's a quarterback 5 from week 5 onwards. Over 21.5 points per game. In fact, he scored more points per game than Jaden Daniels from week 5 onwards. As crazy as that is to hear, Bo Nix scored more points than Jaden Daniels. And I think if Bo Nix had the same aura as Jaden Daniels coming in, because Badaki, you and I knew this. Anytime we said anything positive about Bo Nix last year,
oh my gosh,
it was like we were the dumbest people on the earth, according to our community. But if you just had the same aura for Bo Nix and you look at their points per game and what they did, both brought their teams to the playoffs, Bo Nix would be ranked even higher than I think he currently is.
I completely agree. I was just trying to compare. I'm gonna take Luther Burden here, by the way.
Love it.
I was just trying to compare what he did with CJ Stroud's rookie year and how high CJ Stroud was going.
Oh, he had a better points per game. I'm certain of it.
Yeah. So in 2023, CJ Stroud finished as a QB 11 in PPR, 18.7 fantasy points on the year, threw for 4,100 yards and 23 touchdowns. I don't know if you can maybe pull up Bo's, and then Bo Nix.
Bo, I can tell you. Sorry, I do have it pulled up.
Yeah.
19.4 points per game. 19.4 points per game.
Finished higher as a QB 7 as
Way
well.
higher than CJ Stroud. And last year, people were taking CJ Stroud number 1 overall. I mean, I think you got him at a huge discount. I said that when you drafted him, but again, it's the aura. It's the aura issue, and take advantage of that in your startups, guys. Because we loved Bo, and Levi says Zach thinks Bo should go ahead of Mahomes, so that should tell you something, chat. I don't know if that's like a diss or a compliment. I don't know. I can't really tell, but I do. I absolutely do think Bo Nix should go ahead of Patrick Mahomes. What's up, Caleb? Welcome in.
Yeah, I agree. I have Bo Nix ahead of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Kyler Murray comes off the board at 405. I like that. I'd view that as a little bit of a discount. Trey McBride went off the board. Baker Mayfield comes off the board here. I love the start. I'm not obsessed with the Marvin Harrison pick, but it's good value. I really like the T. Higgins pick at the 401. I thought that was a huge value. One of the best values on the board. I love Bucky Irving going at the 402. I would have taken him 4th round if he was there. I really don't think people realize how good Bucky was this year. But yeah, there's still a couple players I think are discounted.
Yeah, there's a couple good value plays there for sure.
Sam Laporta comes off the board. I am probably... Man, this is a weird part of the draft right now. I mean, the board really falls off, I think, at this point. I think drastically the board falls off. ADP is so bad, too.
Yeah, I feel like that normally happens.
I'm gonna go. I'll grab my quarterback 2 here. I'll grab Jared Goff at the 408. Another guy who I think had a season that went under the radar. I mean, I feel like Jared Goff finished as a quarterback 6 this year. Almost 20 points per game. Attached to an elite offense long term. I'll get him there in the 4th round as my quarterback 2. Dak Prescott, who is also coming in a future video for me. Big fan of that pick. Then we see Michael Penix, who, now that I'm thinking about it, probably should have taken him over Jared Goff.
With the Michael, how many games?
I thought Penix was already off the board, full transparency, so that's on me.
That's all right. It happens, you know. Averaging around 17-ish fantasy points in the 3 games. It was Jordan Addison and the man's second wide receiver there. Arcelamo is the one with Ashton Genty. He takes Brock Purdy at the turn.
Shore says, I'm not sure I would take Tet over other wide receivers. I'm not sure. He's saying, I'm not sure it was crazy. Maybe over Saquon. Wilson sucked. I don't think Wilson sucked. I think that's really unfair. I think Aaron Rodgers sucked. But, yeah, look, I think you can make a case for Tet over Garrett. I think I would probably still take T, Garrett, and AJ over Tet pretty comfortably.
I think all that's going to change depending on situation and landing spot.
Yeah.
You know, like if Tet goes to the Patriots, I think that's going to really boost his value. Maybe people would 100% feel comfortable taking Tet over some of those names like Garrett Wilson.
There's a world that exists where that happens for sure.
100%. Like there's no doubt about it. I think right now, sure, like maybe that is with the context behind it, sure. But without it, let's just say he doesn't. We don't know the landing spot. Let's say he goes to the Raiders with no quarterback. Are we feeling as confident of taking Tet over the Garrett Wilsons with a random quarterback that we know how he's been performing with the Zach Wilsons in the past, right?
Question.
So,
damn it. Devonta Smith comes off the board. Was definitely going to draft him, so that makes my pick a little bit more difficult here. Need to rethink this one now.
I have a couple good people. Josh Jacobs.
All right, I'll take Olave off the board here in the 5th round. Wide receiver 2. Comfortable with that. Big fan of him as a buy low right now. And I think after Olave, there's like a couple wide receivers, but I think there's a big fall off at the position. At least in my rankings. So wanted to grab that as I only have one wide receiver with Rice so far. Hey, over 200 of you guys watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate you. Do have a like goal today of 100 likes, and I can update you and tell you that we are only 18 likes away from that goal. So be a friend. Smash that like button to show some love. You can get us to 18 all together here.
What's up, Super Bowl?
Sorry, well, I was going to go to Rocket's question here.
Okay, go ahead.
He says, Zach, do you still have Love over Stroud in your quarterback rankings? I agree with almost all your takes, but I don't know if I can agree with that comparing season stats and the most recent playoff performances. Have I talked about Jordan Love over CJ Stroud? I mean, that could be the case in my rankings, but I don't remember having like a strong.
I think I remember that conversation. I think we're on a live stream, and I took CJ Stroud over Jordan Love. You did. And I said I think there's still a world with CJ Stroud. I feel comfortable taking Stroud over Love, or vice versa. It just really depends. But I could be wrong.
I can tell maybe looking at my rankings, I don't have a strong opinion. I mean, at least personally, I could be wrong. I've known to make arguments out of nothing, so that definitely could be me. But looking at my quarterback rankings, they'd be back to back, and I don't really have a strong opinion, personally. But again, I've been known to start arguments out of nothing, so I could be making something up. After Olave, Jonathan Taylor came off the board, who I was heavily considering. then
Omarion.
James Cook, J.J. McCarthy, and at the 509, is it Amarion?
Yeah.
Amarion Hampton comes off the board.
If I draft Omarion Hampton, my team name is going to be Icebox with Omarion's.
I've found myself
Omarion.
trying not to sing Omarion because I know probably everybody is doing it. I'm like actively, purposely trying not to. Don't say it. Zach. But yeah, look, I don't have a strong opinion on the Jordan Love, CJ Stroud debate. If I did, then that's my bad because I'm an idiot. But I have Bo Nix ahead of all of them. No, appreciate you, Rocket. Bo Nix Fox. Are people this high on Worthy, Jelly asked? And honestly, that's why I said there was a fall off at wide receiver. Where did Worthy go?
The 4-4.
Oh, wow. I mean, well, look, Sammy, our intern.
Talk to us, Sammy.
I would love to hear the case for Worthy being worthy of a 4th round startup draft. I was actually doing a wide receiver ranking video today. So Worthy finished as a wide receiver 33. He averaged 11 points per game. What I like to do is I like to look at the money stretch, and I call the money stretch weeks 10 onwards. That's when you're really winning championships. From week 10 to 18, Xavier Worthy averaged 12.3 points per game. So he was better. He got better as the season went on. But, I mean, he was still like 32nd in points per game in that span. And it felt like, to me at least, watching the games, that they were forcing him into a role that they probably didn't want him to be in, that he probably wasn't ready for. So I don't really know exactly what to think about it. But, Sammy, take the floor whenever you're ready and tell us why you think Worthy is worthy of going there. I'm not saying he isn't, but
you know, it would be cool one day if we have like one of those telephones and people like leave voicemails.
I would love that.
And like you guys can call in, leave it, and be like, all right, you know, we got
actually
Brizzleton.
Such a good idea.
We got Brizzleton here with a question. What are we thinking? And he's live on stream, and like we're talking through.
We really should set up like a phone line where people can leave like
messages,
and then we can play it on stream. That would actually be unreal.
I know that'd be weird, but like, and then I could put voices with the face. You know, like Daniel Macy calls up, like, "Oh shit, wasn't expecting."
Yeah, we don't. That's the thing. That's what's funny about our community, because it's all online based. We have no idea, except for like 2 people who came to the meetup in Austin when you were there. But outside of like 2 people, we don't really know what any of you guys sound like or what you look like, quite frankly. So it's always funny because we put like names to these people and we know them so well, but we have no idea what they actually look like. Tyler Warren came off the board. I'm not saying it's too early, but it does feel early considering all the other options. And then right after Tyler Warren, we had Caleb Johnson, who I guess if you swap those picks, it makes a little more sense to me, but still felt a little early for me for Tyler Warren. I'm not anti-Tyler Warren. Look, the draft board itself is not that inspirational right now, so I guess I shouldn't be saying too much. But
no, it's not. I'm going to go with another wide receiver here. I'm going to go Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon Ayuk off the board here. I love that pick. I think Ayuk is an incredible buy low right now in Dynasty football. I really wholeheartedly believe he's an incredible buy low. Bryce Young, love the pick. I really think this is the year for startups where, because typically Badaki were like, first 2 or 3 rounds, you really want 2 quarterbacks. I don't view it the same this year. I think there's a lot of quarterback discounts in startups. I really think 1 quarterback in the first round or second round, and then I think you can wait. Like Goff was a 4th round pick, Penix with a 4th round pick, Purdy, Lawrence, Bryce Young's this late, McCarthy's late, Murray's late. I really think this is the year that you can actually kind of wait on quarterback a little bit. I'm not saying you push it too far, but I think you can wait on it a bit.
Yeah, and I actually think some of these quarterbacks will rise. You know, for example, JJ McCarthy, if he goes to a starting team, he gets traded, you're gonna want him. If we keep talking about Luther Burden going to the Dolphins, Tua value is going to rise. And I think the rest of these guys are just are gonna stay the same. I think the Jared Goffs are gonna be there, the Brock Purdy's, the Trevor Lawrence are always gonna be the same, but are some other guys that could potentially rise, like Justin Fields. If he goes to a team, does he go in 7th, 8th round now and you feel really comfortable? Yeah, I do agree though.
Okay. It's interesting, isn't it? And obviously ADP always determines the way we draft. You know what I mean?
By the way, Sammy put it in the chat. He says, I like the idea of a rookie who showed out near at the end of the season and is on a good offense. 11, 11, and 9 targets to end the season. And I know the situation won't change. First round draft capital too.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I have like Ayuk ahead of him, so it's tough to see that I goes 2 rounds later. But look, if you have conviction, I don't hate it. I'm on the clock here, and I think I'm gonna grab my first rookie. Okay. And Mr. Consistent. And this is like the equivalent of, I mean, back in the day, I was gonna say like the $5 footlong. I mean, that was like the most easy meal when that was the thing.
Every day.
Just you can come Subway, pay $5, get a footlong, you'll be good. I need to come up with a better analogy, but this is Mr. Consistent here for me at least. I don't think he's as good of a prospect as JSN was, but I will take Emeka Egbuka off the board. We're getting to this range of receiver where there's a lot of range of outcome. There's a lot of tough projections going on, so I'd rather just take a shot on a guy who I believe gets first round capital. Probably gets into the late first.
I think he does personally.
And I'll take him off the board there. I'll take his Ohio State teammate from Olave for Emeka Egbuka here.
All right.
Rocket, by the way, said I should come to the meetup this year if y'all do it again. I'm located in Houston, so 2 hours. My wife plays fantasy too, hence the Stroud question. Awesome. Which makes sense. We hit the like goal. Hell yeah. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for the support. Very, very kind of y'all. Kyron Williams coming off the board there. That's pretty good value, honestly, for Kyron. I like that pick. I like that pick a lot.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
White says he's soul worthy for JSN. I like that. Let's see. Just trying to keep up with the chat with you guys. Get Matt Gay, someone said. Which, hey, great player. I mean, I'm Jake Moody's on my queue right now.
Jake Moody's on the queue. By the way, I see you, LT Gray. I wasn't even called. I thought last name was Savage. Appreciate you, LT Gray. Thank you for the.
Oh wait! Oh shoot! I'm so sorry. 32
months.
Saw that and then I forgot about it. But yes, okay. So LT Gray says, "Damn, Badaki, the house ain't even cold yet." I thought Zach's last name was Savage. Dab on him, Mandy.
Wait, LT Gray, how you feeling? How you feeling about the Chiefs, brother? Guess the Texans. I told this to
best case scenario Luke. For us, I think.
Yeah, I was about to say this is bye week. This is easy.
Yeah.
This is.
I wouldn't say bye week,
really.
but it's best case scenario for the Chiefs, no doubt.
And if you guys win, obviously you either play the winner of the Ravens or Bills.
Yeah. And the man took a rookie here. I'm hoping it's not the rookie I want. Okay, it's Cam Ward off the board. I did not mean to rhyme there, but I'm not a rapper. So Cam Ward comes off the board. Yeah, I could see this offseason going one of two ways. I could see Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders with the same type of steam in the draft community, continually being mocked in the top 5. I could also see a scenario where as the offseason goes on, these guys start to fall down draft boards. And we start to see more and more mock drafts where Abdul Carter goes 1, Travis Hunter goes 1. And, sure. These guys start to become a question mark in round 1. So I could see it going either way because the only reason they're even being mocked in round 1 is because of need, not because of talent. But I know a lot of people love Cam Ward, so I don't want to talk too much trash. After Cam Ward comes off the board, I'm glad it was Cam because I wanted to take a rookie as well. And I believe this guy is firmly, wherever you have Amarion Hampton ranked, wherever you have Caleb Johnson ranked, I believe Travion Henderson needs to be right there with them. That's where he needs to be ranked for you as well. So I'm taking 2 Ohio State players, teammates, back-to-back here, hitting some rookies in round 6 and 7, and feeling good about the team we're building up so far here. By the way, historic moment here. Haas Cartwright, who has a way of just popping into streams here and there, and they become legendary streams. If you guys don't remember the Haas stream, there's a couple. There's a couple monumental streams over the years, and the Haas stream will go down in history. We just loved the name, and then everybody started changing their username to Haas at the beginning. So this is the founding father of the Haas stream. What's up, Haas? He says, "How you doing, brother? Traded London and Bucky for Jaden in the Superflex League. How'd I do?" I mean, that's probably what you have to pay for Jaden Daniels. Let's be honest. Like, no one's selling Jaden Daniels right now. So the fact that you even bought him, I think that's about. I thought we'd have to even pay more. So I like it.
Yeah, you probably should have paid more. I'll be honest.
He says, "Work had me tied. Happy New Year." No worries, man.
Yeah, man. Happy New Year. Hope all is well. Haas. I just picture Haas with like a big ass beard, yadded up. He probably has a Harley. He goes out with the boys. He got like, I see him as a biker dude. Like, that's how I see him.
Sure.
Maybe because it's just the name. Next minute he's just a conservative guy. 9-to-5 job, sits in the cubicle. Nothing wrong with it.
I like to view my baby Jesus in diapers, golden diapers.
Dear Lord, thank you, dear Lord, baby Jesus.
That movie will always be. I could put that movie on at any moment and just fall asleep and enjoy myself. Tyreek Hill falls to the 7th round. I think he's a huge buy based off this price. I also think Metcalf is a solid, value where he is at the moment. As David Montgomery comes off the board, you took him. I like that pick. And you can't convince me CMC isn't the easiest buy low for a contending team in Dynasty football right now. I don't care what anyone says. You guys cannot convince me that CMC isn't the easiest buy low in Dynasty football right now for contending rosters. Easily. 7th round pick. What does this make him off the board? RB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we add in how many rookies that went ahead of him? 12, 13, 14, 15. This makes him RB 15, 16, somewhere in that range. That's like, I mean, come on. Says, "I like to view my Jesus playing lead guitar for Leonard Skinner, and I'm in the front row, hammered drunk." Hey, Cal. Yes. Can you shut up? Don't get me started on that movie. All right, we got another rookie coming off the board here. This is now Jack's 3rd rookie in a row.
Jack so far obviously has Tyler Warren, Caleb Johnson. I would imagine it's a quarterback. Could be wrong. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Tet McMillan graphic says Arizona State. We do need to fix that.
Okay, yeah.
He is from Arizona. Judkins comes off the board here. So Quinshawn finds a new home. I don't hate this class. I don't know if I would want to build around it this strongly.
Yeah.
But you look at the board, and it's hard to fault anyone because it's not that inspiring this late in a Dynasty startup.
No.
Tank Dell comes off the board. I did a wide receiver ranking video today, which should be out soon. And the thought of Tank Dell, there's not a wide receiver who's fallen further in rankings. It's about as sad of a situation as you can think of right now. All right, we do have another rookie here from Payson 1589. You son of a bitch. You sneaky son of a bitch. I thought I could get away with it, but Jalen Royals does come off the board. I love that our community is starting to fall in love with Jalen Royals. Similar to the way last year our community started to fall in love with Lad McConkey when I was leading the way of that hype train. I don't think the same type of momentum has caught on yet for Jalen Royals, but I'm hoping that it does.
Yeah.
Is Jalen Royals going to the Senior Bowl? I wonder, actually. I don't know if he's healthy enough to go to the Senior Bowl yet. Tyrone Tracy comes off the board. Another rookie.
You got a call. When is the Senior Bowl? Senior Bowl.
You just looked that up today.
No, that was NFL draft, brother. Sorry, that was
Jalen Royals is going to be at the Senior Bowl. That's fantastic.
That was the NFL Combine. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you exactly if I can find the dates. Practice will be held January 28th to the 30th. The game will be held on Saturday, February 1st. Does it normally happen before the Super Bowl?
Wait. You're saying that Senior Bowl is happening February 1st?
Yeah, 2022.
So when does the Senior Bowl start?
It says Senior Bowl. Practice will be held from January 28th to 30th.
Wow, feels earlier than last time.
Yeah, this is before the Super Bowl.
I just don't remember it being in the month of January. I thought it was February.
This is on the NFL. I'll send this to you right now. I'll send this to you on.
Colson Loveland comes off the board. Not gonna lie, definitely who I was probably gonna draft next. And the fact that Loveland went at the 8-6 and we had Tyler Warren at the 5-12 tells me people aren't high enough on Colson Loveland. That's what it tells me personally. Because I think that's a huge value at that point of the draft. Someone had a question. Let's see. Where is it? Jelly says, did you like McConkey or Royals better as a prospect? I'd say McConkey. I'd definitely put McConkey. Just that class, for me to have him wide receiver 5 in last class was about as impressive. Like, that was saying a lot.
I think there's a lot of people
wide
that
receiver
were
5 in this class is not the same.
Yeah.
You know.
There was a lot of people that were giving us some shit early on because we had him early high. We had him high early.
Yeah.
Same with Brian Thomas. And people were like, whoa, what's going on here? I think if you look back to our videos, I think our first rankings that came out, he was a top 7 for both of us at the time.
Yeah.
Or maybe top 8. I think I had Xavier over him for a while, and then I moved him up before the NFL draft, and then he was clearly ahead of Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, but I do love the kid. It's just wide receiver 5 in this class is just not worth the same as wide receiver 5 last year. But Jelly Payson says, you told me to watch his film and said I'd fall in love, and man, I fell in love with this kid. He plays ball about an hour away from me. I love that. He's talking about Jalen Royals.
Nice.
I'll keep saying it. If you want to fall in love with Jalen Royals, just watch the film because you will not be able to not fall in love with this kid. All right. Chase Brown's an incredible value at that point. I have to recognize that. I mean, that's a massive, massive discount. There's no way he should be going 8th round. He's probably a 5th or 6th round startup draft pick right now, I'd say. But obviously, we're all concerned about what they might do. I wanted to address the Kyle Pitts pick because, with all due respect to Kyle Pitts, who I've loved historically, I don't know that he's worth a 2nd round pick right now in the community. I'm not sure that you could get a 2nd round pick if you wanted to trade away Kyle Pitts. So for him to go this high was surprising to me. I have a lot of tight ends on the board ranked ahead of him. I know it's Dynasty and I don't want to be too overreactive, but I feel like if you're going to bet on Kyle Pitts, I don't hate it, but it needs to be in the 11th, 12th round. Otherwise, he's not touching my roster.
Yeah, it's a tough one. There's still guys that have produced more than him that didn't even finish the season
Yeah.
that are still available.
So it's a toughie. It's a toughie. I'll just say that. Do have another rookie coming off the board here. I love the Derrick Henry pick. Was probably going to consider him in the 9th round. I just love Jerry Jeudy's value right now. Okay, I like this a lot. I think this makes a ton of sense. Travis Hunter comes off the board. You know, obviously none of us know how to value him right now because we don't know exactly what his role will be in the NFL. But if he plays 40 snaps a week at wide receiver, this is going to be a huge value pick here. So I don't hate taking that shot in the 8th round. What I do hate is that you guys drafting my beloved Jalen McMillan before me. That's what I do hate. I hate seeing that. Sam Darnold's a great pick there as well. He'll definitely be a starter for someone. I think at this point we can all recognize it's not going to be in Minnesota, but he'll start for someone. Joe Mixon was also the pick I was going to make. You guys might have seen Mike Evans in my queue. And now I have no idea what to do. So give me a second.
Burning.
Is Jameson Williams gone? Surely, right?
Yeah, he is. He went in the 6th round.
Yeah, what a weird spot on the board here. I would probably... Is Joe Mixon? Yeah, Joe Mixon. We just talked about that, Zach. Shit. This is a weird part of the board. Maybe... Is there a rookie I like here? I'm going to grab Cortland Sutton, I guess. I don't really know what to do with this pick. It's a very strange part of the board. And let's also change this to 30 seconds on the clock now, so we don't make this drag on too long. Also, ADP is so bad right now from Sleeper. I don't know what they need to do to fix it, but it's got to change because it's about as bad as it gets right now. I mean, actually, It was worse 3 weeks ago, but so I guess it's improved. Senior Bowl usually late January. Yeah, I guess so, right? I feel like in the past it's been earlier or later.
I don't remember it being before the NFL. Yeah, the NFL draft. Before the Super Bowl. Excuse me.
Yeah, that just seems real late.
It's normally Super Bowl, and then a couple weeks later it's Senior Bowl, and then we have the NFL Combine.
Daniel Mason says my favorite stream is still the great debate of Rashad Bateman in 2021, which was
there was a lot of well, we had the Rashad Bateman stream, we had the Trey Lance streams.
I think that year every stream was a Trey Lance stream, unfortunately. Alvin Kamar's a great pick there as well.
I'm just gonna take Shedeur Sanders. I don't think he's been off.
He was taken.
Okay. Fuck. I was looking for his graphic on the screen and I don't see it.
Yeah, no, he already went at the 8-4.
Okay, I need to think of a rookie because I don't have rookies in front of me right now.
I'd love to give you one, but I don't want you to take my players.
I need to. Man, I'm trying to think of one. Sorry, guys.
Honestly, not good enough.
Rookie list up.
You get nobody.
List up.
I'm just kidding. Isaiah Pacheco off the board. Tough name to value right now. Pacheco. That could end up being a huge steal, but it's just impossible to really know how to value him right now.
Well, let me just take Matthew Golden guy. He's just
Matthew
Golden guy. I'll take him since he's been getting hyped the past couple of days from Dan. So
Dan Brugler. I am scouting Matthew Golden and Alec A.O. Manor here this week, so I can't wait to talk about them. Can't wait to watch them. Hope I'm not disappointed. Not that that matters. Like, no one needs to worry about that. All right, Milroe and Sampson come off the board. Here comes Jalen Milroe.
And I'm on the clock again. I wasn't ready for that again. I'm just going to take Calvin.
Yeah, honestly, I think Calvin's a pretty decent buy low because their quarterback situation, regardless of what it looks like, is going to change.
Yep.
It will change, and they're probably not going to draft a wide receiver. After Shador, we had Dylan Sampson, and this is Alec A.O. Minor. So Dylan Sampson comes off the board. Huh?
No, I was just saying, what's up, D Stone?
Oh. What's Gucci? Welcome in, brother. After that, we had Alec A.O. Manor. Is it A.O. Minor or A.O. Manor? I think everyone says A.O. Manor. I think that's what you're supposed to say. We get another rookie off the board. Okay. He put a smiley face when he put it in there, too. He said, Jack Besh with a smiley face. Freaking punk. Jack Besh off the board. My beloved Jack. Jalen Polk. I don't even think I drafted him in the first 15 rounds, honestly. Gevhan has got some explaining to do with some of these picks. I'm kidding. We love you, Gevhan.
You got something explaining to do.
Fuck it. Everybody's taking a rookie.
Fuck it.
Let me figure out what rookie I want to take, but I'll take a rookie here. And we'll make that rookie. We'll make this. How many running backs do I have? I think just 2, right? Yeah, so we will make this Cam Scataboo.
Scataboo.
We'll make this Cam Scataboo.
Shakira. Now Danny Macy's on the clock. Appreciate you, Matthew. Thank you so much for that super chat.
Oh, very kind.
Says, Koala, I love you. Says, I hope koalas. Says, hope you and your family are doing well. Quick trade question. 12-team tight end premium. Need tight end plus running back. Do I trade Amon-Ra plus Rasheed for Irving Laporta in 2 mid-25 seconds?
Do I trade
I have the
Amon-Ra
102 and the 109.
That sounds like a terrible deal for whoever's trading away Amon-Ra and Rashee Rice.
I think he's trading Amon-Ra and Rashee Rice.
Yeah,
because he says I need a tight end and a running back, so he's getting Laporta and Irving.
That
225
sounds like the least way. Honestly, if you take Rashee Rice out of this deal, I'm still not taking it. That is, that's just not a good trade for the Amon-Ra Rashee Rice side. The Amon-Ra Rashee Rice side has more value by 100, and I love Bucky Irving, but I mean, I was expecting it to say like 2 firsts, but no. Amon-Ra and Rashee, by far, I would hold there. That tells me Rashee Rice is a huge buy low, by the way.
Yeah, I think this guy's also overvaluing Sam Laporta even after what he just did this year, even though it wasn't,
Say again, sorry. I tuned out.
I said he was probably just like overvaluing Laporta just a little bit because that's a lot.
Laporta feels like the overvalued name in that deal for sure.
100%.
It's not to be anti-Laporta. I know guys who's dealing with an injury, but when David Montgomery left this team, the identity slightly changed. They still were run focused, but Laporta became a more important part of that offense at that point. Who was the rookie that was taken? I don't know. Hand the man. What rookie are you taking here, brother? I got a limited amount of time to make a pick here. Let's make this the last round. I'll grab Geno Smith here. I don't really know what I'm doing at this point. This is the last round.
I have no idea what I'm doing at this point.
You can't draft a rookie and say I have no idea. I'll give you Trey Harris. Let's give him Trey Harris. Wide receiver, Ole Miss. Lots of upside, but we just don't know what that floor looks like for this player. I'll give you Trey Harris. The good news about Trey Harris is by far the highest yards per route run of anyone in this class. It's not even close. I think it's like 5.15, which is know much. That's pretty high yards per route run. I know a lot of people are yards per route run fiends. The higher, the more they lose their minds. Dobbins a great pick there too. Mooney, like that pick a lot.
I'm on the clock here.
Devin Neal. Hey, Sammy says nice on Zach to give him your least favorite rookie. That shouldn't be the tag for me on Trey Harris. He's not my least favorite rookie.
I'm gonna take Troy. Come on, baby.
Who just went off the board? Devin Neal. Devin Neal was drafted.
And let us fix you up. Appreciate you guys. This is fun. I can't wait for I know the season's just over, and I can't wait for the NFL draft first, but I'm already excited for next year.
Yeah, same. I agree.
I mean, I'm excited for. I'm counting on the days for the NFL draft because I need to know what's going to happen with the Giants.
Yeah, I remember feeling that same way with Washington last year when we had the second overall pick, and I was like, hell yeah, about to get Mayer Daniels.
Yeah,
and
I just need to know. I need to know if we're just gonna get Travis or one of the quarterbacks, and I can move forward. There's no quarterbacks, great. We got Travis. If we got a quarterback, great.
I think the best outcome for a Giants fan is Travis or Abdul Carter. I think that is your best case scenario. I know your defensive line is already decent, but I think that's the best.
I just feel like if Travis is on the board and we take Abdul Carter over Travis, I just think that's dumb.
Abdul's going to be a top 3 pick. Lock and loaded.
But that's the thing. I don't. Not that I don't want Abdul Carter. Not saying that we don't need him or he would be a great addition. It's like draft Travis because we're pressing. We need the position at cornerback, even if he's going to play snaps at wide receiver.
Well, what happens if Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders don't go top 3? Abdul is going to be a lock. I think I should say he's a lock for the top 5 is what I should say.
Basically then you're saying if Shedeur and Cam don't go top 3 or don't go top 2, you mean?
If Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward don't go top 3, then Abdul Carter's a lock for the top 3.
Yeah, which means he probably goes top 3. That means one of those quarterbacks is going to be available, and whoever Shedeur or Cam is available, I don't care who they take, just take a quarterback. Even if they fail, I just need to know.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Nolan said, if I sign up for a Mother Flocker free trial with no discount code and now I'm paying for it, do I still get a team review? I believe you would automatically go to Mason, but what you can do is go to our Discord, but actually you can put the link in there for him, and go to the site issues tab and talk to our developers there, and they can see what's possible. I don't really know the answer to that, actually, now that I've thought about it, Nolan. But all right, this is a 2-part stream. Part 1 is now done, which was the startup drafts. We appreciate you guys for being here with us. That was a lot of fun. Part 2 is now where we transition to reviewing people's dynasty teams and getting them their dynasty playbook. So that is the part of the stream that we will now transition to. Appreciate everybody who's dropped a like on the video and has been here with us, having great conversations. Now we're going to get a little more personal for those people who have prioritized us and supported our channel by getting a dynasty playbook. There are 2 ways you can get your dynasty playbook. The first way is by using the link in the pinned comment. I just pinned it. It's also in the chat for you there. And that link is going to take you to, let's get these rookies off the screen, a page that looks like this, okay? Regardless of what promo code you use when you signed up, or if you are or are not a member, you can get a team review from us. You click team review, link up your league if it's on Sleeper or ESPN or Yahoo. If not, you can include screenshots. But once you hit continue, you know, if you do have a Sleeper league, make sure you choose the right team. Make sure your draft picks are correct. If not, add some, hit continue. Then you'll see Zach and Badaki here from Fantasyland. Now, the base version is an offline review. If you want us to review it live, then all you need to do is pay $10 more to get that live version of the team review where we review it on a live stream. A lot of people prefer the offline version because they don't want their league mates seeing the review. So both have been very popular, but if you want us to prioritize yours on a live stream, it's just $10 extra for us to do that for you. Now, that is option 1. Option number 2 is by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. When you become a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND, not only do you get a team playbook, which you guys might not even know what it looks like. This is what a team playbook looks like. It's direct, customized advice for your offseason, specific trade recommendations, what to do for your draft capital, understanding the direction of your team moving forward, all customized specifically to your team. You get the team playbook with a yearly membership as a Mother Flocker with the promo code LAND. You also get our 2025 Rookie Report, which is already up on the Flock Fantasy website. All right, if you go to recent posts, you'll see Dynasty Rookie Report version 1.0 from Dynastyland. That is already up on there. I would suggest to download it because it's the easiest way to actually view it. But specific breakdowns of everyone in this class. This is only version 1. So many new features are going to be added for version 2, but you've already got an insane amount of information in version 1. But version 2 is on the way. All right, those are the two ways you can get your team playbook. Let's start off with Outlaw Dave on today's stream.
Appreciate you, Outlaw Dave. Thank you so much for the support. And let's break down this context here. He says 12-team Superflex, 1.5 tight end premium. Start well, 30 total, 2025 in year 2. I'm not sure what that means.
So this is my MFL league, I think. But sorry, yeah. So start 12, 30 total bench spots is what he means.
Okay, he says I finished second, and he has a keep trade cut ID. He says need to cut 7 before rookie draft. I traded 25 4th and 5th for AOC, Kittle, and J-Mac, Estime, and Lloyd Sutton for. Okay, sorry. You traded a 25 4th and 5th AOC, Kittle for J-Mac, Estime, and Lloyd
Sutton for Kirk,
and then the second trade, then Sutton for Kirk, and the second Aaron Jones for Javonte. Okay, so those are all a little bit confusing. So I definitely need running back help, but I love wide receivers. Thanks.
All right, okay. I am gonna put his ID in here as well, so we can view the rest of his league for him. I'll have that on the side for us. But again, to recap, 12 team Superflex 1.45 tight end premium. It's a start 12. So it's a start 12 Superflex. That's a pretty big lineup. That is a depth is king lineup. Start 12 depth is king, meaning 5 flex spots or 3 wide receivers in your lineup and 4 flex spots. Either way, you can start up to 7 receivers or 7 running backs. That is a huge lineup. Depth is very important in this type of format. It is year 2. He finished second. All good things to know. Needs to cut 7. Let me go through these trades one more time. I traded a 4th and 5th for AOC. That's 1. Okay. Traded Kittle for J-Mac. That's 1. Kittle for J-Mac, Estime, and Lloyd.
Yeah, and then
he traded Sutton for Kirk in a second, Aaron Jones for Javonte in a first. That's a great trade. Rashawn for the 301, the 512. I definitely need running back help, but love wide receivers. Okay, awesome. So I feel confident now moving forward. We're going to do at least 4 teams tonight, by the way. Starting off here with Outlaw Dave. Okay. So, remember, Superflex, start 12, very big lineup. Let's have a look at the roster here. MFL is so hard to look at, but he's got Josh Allen. In fact, because I have his KTC code,
I was literally about to say, should we just put it in KTC?
I'd rather look at KTC
and just have a look there. I completely agree.
His team name, well, we know he has Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Mac Jones. So he is currently ranked number 1 on KTC by a significant margin amongst the rest of his league. Now, he didn't tell us exactly what his draft picks were this year, did he? Or did he?
He did not.
Okay. But maybe he has that somewhere else here on this. No, we don't, but that's okay. We still have more than enough information to work from here. Okay. Go ahead and walk us through this team.
Give me a second. I'm still trying to pull it up.
I'll start off with Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. There's no.
I got it.
Okay.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I had it I had it up here. Actually, no, I don't. Continue.
Josh Allen,
Right.
Justin Herbert. There is no clear quarterback 3 right now. Between AOC, Mac Jones, and Drew Lock, maybe one of those guys has a role. Maybe it's AOC starting for the Raiders, but it's your top 2. We're not really building around anyone else. At running back, you have Brian Robinson, Isaac Orindo, Audric Estimate, Javonte, Jordan Mason, Marshawn Lloyd. It's not much there. I don't even know if I would rely on Brian long term. At wide receiver, this is where your strengths are. You've got Brian Thomas, Drake London, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Lad McConkey. That top 4 there is so strong. You still have Ayuk, McMillan, Rashid Shaheed, Kirk. Such a strong wide receiver room. And then at tight end, you have Brock Bowers. And this is a tight end premium format. That's absolutely incredible. You have a 125 first. You have a 25 second. A 25 third.
Looks like you might have all your picks
And a
outside
fifth.
outside of your 4th.
You have
in
multiple
25.
firsts in 2027. You have multiple seconds in 26. So there's a good amount of draft capital here. I mean, I'd say that's a solid A- draft capital. Thinking through your starting lineup, very deep rosters. You would be starting Allen, Herbert, I guess B-Rob, Javonte right now, but I don't know if either of those guys are starters next year. Then Brian Thomas, Drake London, then Bowers, and then we would still need 5 flexes. So those would be JSN, Ladd, Ayuk, McMillan, maybe Shaheed or Kirk. So the flex, the last couple flexes fall off, but considering how deep everyone else is going to be struggling at flex. And I think you're probably one of the strongest teams already. So considering context, this is definitely an A team. I just don't know if it's A+ or A flat. I think A flat maybe.
I think it's A flat. I would even say maybe it's A- because of the running back room. His only real starting running back is Brian Robinson. And then you are going to get a running back here, but if Washington does draft the running back, we just don't know what that looks like.
Yeah.
I would just say I would be A-, but I'm happy to put A flat. I think it's a really good team. I think it's in the A for sure.
The only reason I say A flat is because not only does he have decent depth in a very deep lineup, but he also has superstars: Allen, Bowers, Brian Thomas, Drake London, JSN, right? So not only does he have a decent starting lineup already, but he also has superstars at positions and he has draft capital. I'm going to say A flat, but I can see A- too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's assume that the draft picks are late because he finished 2nd. So I'm going to assume that his 25 first, 2nd, 3rd are all the 111. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I'm going to assume those are all the 111. So I'll bring over his chalkboard here. 2025. I don't even know if I say 25. I think it's the 111. I think it's the 211. I think it's the 311. Does he have his 4th? I don't remember.
No, he did it.
Does he have his 5th?
Yeah, in 25. In 25, he had his 3rd. He has 2 thirds in 25, actually.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't see a 25 or 5th. I don't see a 25 4th or 5th. I just see a 25 3rd.
Okay. So there's 2 options.
25 5th, sorry. He does have a 25 5th.
He does? Okay, so he has a 4th and a 5th?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has a 4th and a 5th, yeah.
I'm going to assume for this review that it's the 111 for all those picks. I assume that's how it would work, but I can't say for sure. But this is a great team. I mean, this is you should be very proud of this team. Now, Brock Bowers and Brian Thomas are my untouchables. I feel like with his team, you might as well add Josh Allen as well because
that's what
you're not going to sell Josh Allen on this roster.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can easily drop names like Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Seven players.
7? All right, ready for this?
But we'll put 4 players But then as you're watching this back, you can hear the other 3 players that you need to drop.
DTR.
Mm-hmm.
Mason Rudolph. Sterling Shepard. Mac Hollins. David Moore. Alan Lazard.
David Moore.
Alexander Madison. That's 7.
Lazard. And then Madison.
Those are all easy drops for me. As far as holds, to me, Jalen McMillan is always going to be a hold, but I will put him there. And Ben Sinnott as well. Could add Isaac Rendo if you need to add another name. He's also a decent hold. I think he's the starter over Mason because Mason's a free agent. Or he's the backup, is what I meant to say. But yeah, I mean, I don't really want to... there are players I'm willing to trade, like B-Rob, Javonte, Mason as well. I'd be willing to trade Mac Jones to the Trevor Lawrence owner. Outside of that, most of these guys are holds. So let me put that list together. I said B-Rob, Javonte, Jordan Mason. B-Rob, Javonte, Jordan Mason. And we said Mac Jones.
Yeah.
And this is really the best time to trade away Mac Jones for anything because the Trevor Lawrence owner is going to see that he's a decent backup and just that security they're going to want after this year.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's start with draft capital, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
We should talk about his pathway. Now that I'm thinking about that. I mean, this is close to Thanos, but you don't have the draft capital of the running backs for Thanos. This is contender status for sure.
Yeah.
You're a true contender, no doubt. At the 111, you definitely need to hit on a running back here. Now, obviously, with the caveat that if you're forcing a running back and there's a clear better player available, you don't do that. But I think this is the Quinshon Judkins range. I don't think Henderson's going to land here anymore, but I'll just put him in there for the sake of it. Ideally, one of those names. I'm just going to say, or another running back that gets good DC. I think that's really the range that you're in. At the 211, I think you take a shot on another running back.
Yeah.
Dart throw running backs.
I think just taking shots on running back here is important.
You do that at pretty much every pick is what I would do the rest of the way.
100%.
Because it's such a strong class, you know.
It's such a strong class, and you have strong positions everywhere else besides the running back. I mean, your quarterback room is great, your wide receiver room is great, your tight end room is great, and you in reality only have one starting running back in Brian Robinson. If they don't bring in another running back, and that's it, and then you're set, brother.
Yeah, and
now,
by the way, when we say dart throw or we say BPA, just so you guys know, our rookie report, when it's time for you to draft, will be updated. You'll know exactly what we think and how we would rank every single player, right? So just so you guys are aware, who did I put my guys as? Woody Marks, Brashard Smith, DJ Giddens, Cam Scatterwood, Jalen Rogers, Jack Besh, Tej Johnson, Jalen Knoll. Yeah, that's a good group. Okay, so the other option is if we trade away the 111 for a starting running back.
That's where I want to talk about here, because that could be an interesting one, especially if you package the 111 and the 211, see where you can get. I'm just using Keep Trade Cup. They don't have actual draft picks, but they do have a 25 late first. Running backs around this: Kenneth Walker, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey.
I've talked about him.
Chuba Hubbard is also there. You can probably Chase Brown. That's a risky one.
Yeah, that's
Josh Jacobs.
Huge risk reward. I doubt Jacobs will go this cheap.
Yeah, I mean he's not that cheap. Like those are the guys in range. So he's ranked 53. and that first in 25 is ranked 64. So you probably have to give up a little bit more for Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. Just going to
but
our
those are
expert consensus ranking. Yeah, Jacobs. What about James Cook? I feel like he's not entirely out of that range.
Let's see, Jimmy. Jimmy is 45, so he's technically higher than that. You should pay a lot more than James Cook.
Really?
According to Keep Trade Cut, than
Interesting.
Josh Jacobs. Yeah.
I don't understand that, but okay.
Don't sleep on Jimmy, brother. Come on.
I like James Cook, but if we're playing Dynasty in the span of a 3-year window, there's no way he should be ranked ahead of Josh Jacobs. But I don't know that you can get Walker straight up for the 111. I don't even know that I'd want to target him, considering the offensive coordinator change. But I'd be willing to pay the 111 if someone wants to walk away from him. Again, I don't think it's possible. CMC is actually the perfect, I think at least the perfect fit for this team. I don't know. Maybe could you try and send like Javonte, Estime in the 211? I don't know that works, but again, that's your first try. Javonte plus Estime plus the 211. Does that get you in CMC range? I've seen some insane trades in our trade finder for CMC lately. I actually feel more comfortable, and this should change my rankings now that I'm thinking about it. I feel more comfortable getting Chuba Hubbard for the 111 than Ken Walker. Is that crazy to say?
I feel more comfortable getting Chuba Hubbard over CMC. I feel like that's crazy to say. I feel like that's what people think will say that's crazy to say. I don't feel like that's crazy to say for Kenneth Walker. I just have Chuba Hubbard over CMC and Walker.
Yeah, I think I'm realizing I need to adjust my rankings because
that's where I'm at. Because Jonathan Brooks is not going to be of anything to him. He signs that long-term contract extension. If Jonathan Brooks does come back, I don't see him taking over. I just see this more as a split backfield, Jahmyr Gibbs, Monty type vibe, with Chuba Hubbard still having a role.
Yeah, so let's add Chuba there. I need to change my rankings as I'm thinking this through. I don't really like the idea of Chase Brown personally. I get it.
Yeah,
I just think
risky.
There's too much risk.
100%, it's risky.
You're gonna have to pay more for Jacobs, in my opinion. You'd have to pay like the 111, maybe, and the 211. Or what you could do is try and just throw the entire sink at it. 311, 411, 511. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that get you Josh Jacobs? I don't know. Henry, I was high on last year compared to consensus, but I don't know that I would really pay a first still. I have like a philosophical issue with it, maybe is the right way to say it. I'd add 111 to James Cook. I think I'd pay the 111 for James Cook as well. So those are a couple options that you'd have if you trade away those picks. I think we can also look at like the 211 as a standalone value. For example, like a James Conner could make a sense for the 211. Like let's get into that range real quick.
What about let me ask you this. Is Rachaad White completely dead?
Yes. After doing more research, yes.
Okay. Because I know
do believe he is.
I know you're gonna release that video. That's why I asked you.
Travis Etienne isn't a terrible buy there at the 211.
Travis Etienne. Like I feel like you can get players that feel risky, right? So J.K. Dobbins, maybe.
Dobbins was the one I was like, I don't see them not drafting someone. You know.
Same. I completely agree. I completely agree. Just once again, these are risky moves.
Yeah.
Aaron
Jones.
I don't know. Aaron Jones. Yeah. Tony Pollard maybe.
Pollard is actually a safe. There's not much upside, but it's a safe. I won a championship with Tony Pollard this year.
What's Ramondre at right now?
I do not want Ramondre. I'll be honest.
Even for a late second?
I do not see them not drafting a running back. With whole new head coach, the previous regime
that's
gave
true,
Stevenson the extension.
You're right.
Insane amount of fumble issues the entire season.
Aaron Jones,
with Aaron Jones, I might try the throw the sink at it method we did with Josh Jacobs, but instead of the second rounder, maybe we try the 311, the 411, and the 511 for Aaron Jones. I don't know. You might be able to leave out the 5th. I don't really know the answer to that. But what we could also do is like attach the 211 to like a Brian Robinson, because we want to sell him.
Yeah, sure.
And we could come up with something. So at the 111, you get Jacobs or whatever, you know. Does a 211 plus B-Rob, like what range does that put you in? Does a 211 plus B-Rob, let's see, does that put you in James Cook range? Does that put you in CMC range? Maybe?
Sure.
CMC seems like the range there. Could you get Montgomery? Maybe?
According to this, Brian Robinson and Monty. Or Brian Robinson in the 211 for Monty.
Uh-huh.
Right, yeah.
Tracy?
You got a call on. I don't think you can get Tracy, but.
Yeah, but it's an option.
It
and I would also say, or Javonte. Like, if someone has more confidence for some weird reason in Javonte, then oblige them.
Yeah.
But let's play this world out. And by the way, who has Trevor Lawrence? I just closed it. Tell me who has Trevor Lawrence, and then we'll move on.
I'll tell you in a second. Tony Bagel.
Okay, so Mac Jones. Can you get a future third from Tony Bagel? That's really all you can net from that, but I think it's worth it. I don't think you need to address quarterback. Like, if you need one and one of those guys go down, you can look at quarterback in season, trading for a cheap guy.
Yeah.
But as far as Jordan Mason goes, I'd take any future second or third. Yeah, I think we've given a lot of great ideas here. Very clear direction moving forward. I just want to play out. I like playing out these scenarios. So let's say we land Chuba Hubbard, and then we turn the 211 into and Javonte and Esme into CMC. Let's just play that world out, right?
Yep.
So, okay, we don't get any exciting rookies. That isn't awesome, but your team is actually complete now, right?
Yeah.
Because you lose Javonte, you lose
agree.
Esme, you lose your first and second round pick, but now your team, you add Chuba Hubbard and CMC as well as Brian Robinson to a running back room that desperately needs some sort of jolt for competition to compete for a championship. So I really like this. I like this pathway we've figured out for him. Let's go ahead and highlight these two trades I really love. And what are two that you'd like to highlight here?
For me, it would most likely be, so you had the 111 Chuba Hubbard, Javonte Williams. Let's just do one of these seconds.
Yeah.
Let's do one for Travis Etienne, and then let's do the Aaron Jones ones. Throwing the sync to Aaron Jones. Just keep in mind here, Dave, we appreciate you. Thank you for the support. You will get this playbook within 48 to 72 hours. Keep in mind, if you don't see something filled out, it's probably because you didn't submit your team via the Flock Fantasy website through that platform. So you might not have like your league position priorities. But everything else should be there for you.
We should be able to get priorities, just not his ranking amongst the rest.
the league rankings. Like
right. But for the most part, you'll have everything.
Yes, exactly.
But we do appreciate you, Outlaw Dave. Again, if anybody's out there watching, there's two ways that you can get your team playbook. Again, this will be sent to Dave. It'll be a customized version just for him within 48 to 72 hours. If you want your playbook, there's two ways you can get one. First way is by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. I truly wholeheartedly believe this is the best bang for your buck. Even if you plan on getting multiple reviews, a lot of people do. If you become a yearly member, it's going to pay for itself because you get the team playbook, you get all the premium tools on the website, you get the rankings, you get our 2025 rookie report, but then you get discounts on any future purchases through the Flock site anyway, right? So it really does pay for itself. But if you're out there and you're on a different promo code already, then you can get a team playbook with the pinned comment. And I'll put that link in the chat there as well. You can go to Zach and Badaki Fantasyland. If you want it done live, pay that $10 extra for the live version. If you're fine to have an offline version, just get the base model and you'll be Gucci. You'll be good to go. All right. Appreciate you, Outlaw Dave. That was honestly fun. That was a fun team to review. And it's fun to see platforms like MFL where we can review it. We might have to use like a KTC, but we're still able to review it, which is great.
We'll still get it done for you, no doubt about it.
Can you refresh on Outlaw Dave and make sure it sent him like a complete? Because I think it did, but
let me see.
The next, I hit the next question button and it didn't refresh. So I just want to make sure that it sent him that message telling him the time code. Can you look for that as I set up this next one?
Yeah, sure. Let me see.
And the next team we're going to review is Onyx Stone 775.
Yeah, you sent him that message.
Was there another message that was sent?
No, the last one I see is like, hey, thank you for your member.
Okay.
To answer your question on stream, you can watch the following link.
Let's see here.
That one, and I can resend
Oh,
it to
okay,
him.
yeah. No, it did work then. Yeah, because that last message is where he gets the time code. Perfect.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm saying. That was the last one I saw. Anyways.
Okay,
cool. Oxy Stone is next.
Yeah, let's do it.
Appreciate you. Thank you for the support here. He says, I am in a lot of leagues, but I have been in this league for 2 years and I keep missing the playoffs. I have been doing fantasy football for years. I have won multiple championships. I can't get this team right in this league. Please help. Okay, well, first of all, I can see a Thanos by a mile.
Yeah. 2 Browns, 1 Cup.
Just having to look at this team here. I mean, it's not that amazing. Daniels, Mahomes,
but
Dak.
It's a great team.
Yeah.
That concerns me about what the rest of your league looks like if he's ranked.
Exactly. You are currently ranked 6th out of 10. This is a 10-man league. This is also a 2-quarterback 10-team start 9. Which, if I'm not mistaken, that's meat and potatoes in a super flex league.
Yes, sir. Start 9. You got 2 flex spots, most likely. You can start up to 4 wide receivers, 4 running backs. So the previous team that we reviewed, we were like, depth is so important. That kind of flips the script here for Onyx, where depth isn't that important. Obviously, it matters, but your starting lineup is much more important in this league. No tight end premium, 10-team league. So again, considering it's a 10-team league, these teams should be even more stacked. Where's Love? Like you said, 6th. Why don't you go ahead
and you know that song?
Walk us through his team.
Where is the love?
Of course.
Quarterback room: Jordan Love, Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins, and the list goes on there. It looks like you got the backups, which was great. Getting Michael Penix there for Kirk Cousins and Malik Willis. So I think this is a decent quarterback room, especially with Michael Penix going into that second year.
Yeah.
At the running back position, Kenneth Walker, Monty. And then you have some high upside guys that can take over some opportunities. Not take over, but have some opportunities. Jalen Wright will potentially know. Raheem Mostert, Jonathan Brooks is just going to be out for the year. And then Jalen Warren if Najee Harris does walk. And at the wide receiver position, Nico, Higgins, Waddle, Reed, Jawan, Malik Washington, Jordan Whittington, with Trey McBride there at the tight end position with Benson and Tucker Kraft.
3 firsts and 25.
Mm-hmm.
Now we don't know exactly what those are, unfortunately.
No, we do not. But you do have your own, which is great.
We can kind of figure out where they'd be based off the team records. This is a team that hasn't transitioned yet, their league to 2025, so that's
no.
But
they have not.
Okay, team draft capital grade specifically, I'd say definitely an A.
An A for sure.
But team as a whole, let's think through the starting lineup. It's Love, Penix, it's Walker, Monty, it's Nico, Higgins, it's McBride, and then Waddle, Reed. That's a pretty good lineup.
Yeah, not bad.
it's not star-studded. Like this would be a B+ for a 12-team league. But in a 10-team league, I more lean B-.
Yep.
Which still you should be competing for the playoffs most years. I don't think there's an untouchable on this roster.
Yeah, I feel like
Trey McBride, maybe.
I feel like there could be two, depending on what moves we make. Okay, so keep that in mind when you see that on your graphic. You might see them, but depending on the pathway that we do take, I would say Trey McBride and Nico Collins.
Yeah.
Just so we have some players there to fill up here for Stone.
Yeah, but most likely there's not a true untouchable. Like, we love Nico, but I'd still be willing to move him.
100%. I completely agree.
You can drop if you need to. Amir Abdullah. I really don't think I'd drop anyone else right now. Yeah, I don't think I'd drop anyone else. Like, I want to see how free agency and the draft pans out before I drop anyone else. I'd say Amir Abdullah is the only one I could really comfortably say.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then holds, obviously Malik Washington is a big one that we've been seeing all off season.
Yep.
I would also say, for me, Jameis is a big hold.
Yeah, but I think there's a bigger hold on the roster.
Sure.
Sinnott would be a bigger hold, I think.
I'm just trying to get up to 4 here.
I think Sinnott, Waddle, Wright are all bigger holds in my mind.
Okay, Jalen Waddle.
I just think Jameis is never going to be a starting quarterback. You know, I think people know that too. It's not like Sam Howell where you like, you know what I mean? Like you can trade him for a second when he starts, you know?
No, I understand. The reason why I like Jameis is only because I think there is a pathway. If they don't love a quarterback, they're happy to stay with Jameis, knowing that Deshaun's not going to be the same, but knowing that, you know what, let's just try and get somebody else. As in, like, that could be anyone. That could be Kirk, right?
Dude, if Jameis Winston starts for the Browns next year and they say that from the offseason, Jerry Jeudy will be ranked so high in my redraft rankings. It will be insane.
I understand. Yeah, it would be crazy.
Okay, pathway. This team's interesting because with those first-round picks, I think we're going to put ourselves into a sleeper status.
Yes.
We are probably not the favorites, but you put us into the playoffs.
Know
what I'm saying? Anything can happen. I don't know what Bristleton's. I don't know what your comments in relation to, dude. That was very vague.
I was like, wait, what?
I was like,
is
wait,
somebody playing music right now?
I was like,
or
our
something?
music is copyright free. It's like from a random YouTube page. But I don't know who you're talking about, Bristleton. But they're gonna get flagged if they're using non-copyright free music. Anyway, I appreciate you, Bristleton. I always love you being here with us. So I think sleeper status is what I would say, because I couldn't say like contender. I think you're a true sleeper. If these picks hit, then sure, you know you're in that contender status. But as of right now, today, probably sleeper status, which means you're sneaky. No one's seeing you coming, but you might just take the whole thing. Let's think through these draft picks. We've got a first, 3 firsts, 3 thirds is basically what we have. All right. So we've got a 3 firsts. No idea where they're from, but we do know the teams they're from. So we can make an educated guess.
Yeah, let's have a look. Clayton, who finished 4 and 22. Ooh, let me find out this is the 101. This is a top 3 pick. He is 4. There's 4 and 22, and there's 5 and 12. And then there is. Those are the only 2 teams that went negative this year. Everyone went 500 or above. Oh, and 10 and 16. That could be a top 3 pick.
Okay.
Clayton Dirk.
Okay, so he has his first. What's the other names of the teams that he has?
Dr. D, who's 15 and 11.
And who else?
And Clayton Dirk.
Clayton.
And
Dirk.
Clayton Dirk, Dr. D, and then he has his own first.
Okay. I don't really care where the third rounders are, but okay. So Dr. D and Clayton Dirk, like you said, when we look at
Clayton Dirk is 4 and 22.
Oh wow! So that's definitely the 101.
That might be a top 3 pick for sure. Because Dr. D is
that's either the 101 or the 102. So that what team is that again? Clayton. That's Clayton.
Clayton. Dirt. Clayton Dirt.
Dirk.
Dirk.
I was like, damn, bro, that's kind of mean.
Clayton Dirk.
Probably the 101. I'm gonna say 101.
I feel like we should do like
or
least
102
case scenario. Like 10. I feel like worst case scenario is 103.
There's worst case scenario is 102. Look at the rest of the records. There's no way he's not.
Yeah, you're right.
10.
And then
yeah.
And then Dr. D is 15 and then 11.
So let's just say mid first. We can't be very specific about that.
Yeah.
And then he's also a mid first, his own.
Yeah, he must be a mid first.
Okay, so now we have a vague idea, right? Of, of where these guys are going to be picking. So we'll play two different scenarios, stick and pick, and then we'll also play max. Say max value. Anita Max win. Well, at the 101 or the 102, it's either Ashton Genty or I'm trading back. That's how I'm operating.
Yeah, I agree.
And let's remind ourselves of his team. Ken Walker, Montgomery. Yeah, Genty would be perfect fit for this team. Mm-hmm. This is not a team where like you look at Genty and you're like, damn, I can't build around him. The amount of teams who said that 2 years ago about Bijan and Gibbs, how do they feel about trading him away? So let's say Ashton Genty. Or we're trading back if it's the 102. I am trading back if it's the 102. With the mid first, I mean, there's an incredible amount of people that we could put there. From Luther Burden to your Hamptons to your Johnsons to your Henderson.
Travion.
To quarterback.
It's a quarterback. I mean, sometimes tight end, depending. I guess you can be
Warren,
tight ends.
Loveland, yeah. I mean, he doesn't really need tight end, but
no, but that is
if that's BPA, then that's BPA.
Yeah.
So let's play out this world where we get Genty, and then let's say mid first let's say we hit on like a Caleb, and then we come back and hit on a. Actually, what I'd love to do is, if we have these first and they're very close, I'd love to go Luther, Genty, Luther, and then Henderson, if that's possible. Just as an example.
Sure.
So we play out this world where we stick and pick. Again, round 3, who the hell knows? You're going BPA here. That's based off of our rankings when the draft is done. But you add Ashton Genty, and now your starting lineup looks like Love, Penix, Genty, Walker, I guess, Nico, Higgins, McBride. Then we've got Luther Burden we can flex, along with Waddle Reed. We've got Travion Henderson we can flex if we want to. Montgomery that we can flex. You can really have it your way, BK. If it's blurry, just make sure you go to settings, and like YouTube will do like optional, like it'll be automated clarity, but basically go to settings and just choose the highest setting rather than letting YouTube automate it. Does that make sense?
And then go to the highest.
But yeah, this is a great game plan, honestly, for your team. Like, I actually don't know that I want to trade away these picks.
Want to trade away exactly? That's what I was gonna say. I'm not sure if I want to trade away these picks because how crucial they are. If there's somebody that or something that you should trade away, is maybe players that maybe we don't believe in too much. I know one that I think Zach and I have been on the same page is Kenneth Walker. I know we spoke about Jonathan Brooks. I think I would rather hold Jonathan Brooks. I know we've been saying, Zach has been saying it maybe any second if he possibly can, but it's probably best to just hold these players. Like, and they're not good time to sell, right? Right? You can't really sell Jonathan Brooks. You can't really sell Jalen Wright. You can't really sell the Waddles, the Reeds, the T's.
You could sell T, but I don't think you need to.
Yeah, I don't think you need to. So I think it's best to hold. If there is somebody that you could sell in this team, is most likely be Kenneth Walker or the guys that we don't want to move really, in Nico Collins or the Jordan Loves here. But,
I wouldn't be opposed to moving Walker or Monty because of the picks that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you need to move Monty, but like if you want to get ahead of whenever the decline does come, I'm not suggesting it is coming, but we know age comes for every guy. I'm not worried about Monty long term, but if you wanted to get ahead of that, you could pivot. It doesn't mean your team gets worse. You can still pivot and compete and be that sleeper status.
Yeah.
But I believe that if it's the 102, we really want to go from the 103 to the 107. Like I'd say in that range, plus a future first, ideally, if that's possible, based off how the draft goes.
Yeah.
Or if you want to move even further back, what you can do is go 108 to the 112, and ideally 2 future firsts, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Again, that's only if it's the 102, not the 101. It's the 101, I think this team sticks and picks.
No question. Continue. I just need to help Ellen with something.
That's okay. If we are going to move off of Ken Walker, let's find a team that might be a good suitor. So let's sort by running back strength. This is the 10th ranked team. That is Clayton Dirk. You have his own first round pick. You did really well getting that, by the way. Yeah, he's decimated. No, I'm not really obsessed with these options. I would just say this, like if you can turn Ken Walker into Josh Jacobs, then you do that in a heartbeat. I don't know how possible that is in Dynasty. There will be people out there who are like, well, Ken Walker's younger. If that's the guy in your league, go get Josh Jacobs. James Cook, I feel so indifferent about that tier, or about that move. I don't have a strong opinion on that. I would also love to turn Ken Walker into Breece Hall, if that's possible. I know a lot of people are iffy on him. I do not see the Jets drafting a running back. It would make no sense for their roster. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to try and turn Ken Walker into Bucky Irving if we can add something here, like Ken Walker, and you can't do all your thirds. I don't think that's gonna make the difference, but I'll just say it. I'd also say Ken Walker and what? What's our team name again? Where's the love? Where is the love? Ken Walker and Kirk Cousins. The records are by the team names. Yeah. I appreciate that, Kelly. So because not everybody. So a lot of you guys for your Dynasty leagues, what probably happens is whoever has the worst record gets the best pick. But not every league operates that way. For example, like our leagues that we run, it's reverse max points for the non-playoff teams. And then the playoff teams are the draft orders a different way. But what we did figure out is that based off of these records, worst case, that's the 102 because we have a team that's 4-22 against the median and then a team that's 5-21. Everybody else was really competitive. But we just don't know again. We don't know if it's the 101 or the 102 because that could change depending on if this team does max points for, reverse max points for. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. What was that team that had Bucky? Or where was our team? Sorry. Where's the love? Sorry, I'm getting off track. My bad. But I appreciate that that help there. I mean, shoot, I'd send Jonathan Brooks easily as well to make that happen. I'd probably send Juwan Jennings too. I mean, shoot, how much can we rely on him with the amount of guys they have, right? If any of those are possible, I'm doing them a heartbeat. David Montgomery, I don't like. I think the pivot here is like your Chuba Hubbards. Like you're staying in the same range, but you're getting just a year or two younger, you know? I wouldn't go Tyrone. It's just too risky. I would definitely go James Cook if possible. So those are just a couple ideas. Again, you're in that sleeper status. We do not need to sell David Montgomery or Ken Walker, honestly. I prefer to move off Ken Walker for other options if I'm in your position. But yeah, love this team. This is a fun team. This is a real sneaky team too. I think you can make the playoffs next year. Love your first round picks. Like Badaki and I said, I don't even think I'd trade these, especially if you have the 101. You know, especially if you have the 101, I don't think you need to trade any of these picks. Like if you land a Genty, Bird, and Henderson, that's a perfect haul for what your team needs. Again, if it's a 102, we'll try and trade back. If you can pivot to a Brees, a Jacobs, if you can turn Ken into an Irving with some combination, if you can turn Monty into a Hubbard, like that is your pathway moving forward. That is this sleeper team's ideal next steps throughout the offseason. As far as quarterback, I'm sure you'll have questions about it from quarterback 3. Honestly, I don't think you need to address it because you have... Okay, so why would we want a third quarterback in Superflex? Well, what if Jordan Love goes down? What if Michael Penix goes down? In your scenario, you've already got the guys there to replace him. You know what I mean? Like, if Jordan Love goes down, we see Malik Willis, you can start him. We know, Kirk Cousins, it's a different story, but you already have the backups, so you're not going to be in a boat without a paddle. But yeah, really love the team, man. Again, like Badaki always says, we will get you your team playbook. That's going to be customized to everything that we talked about today. The chalkboard obviously will be filled. It'll be full of your draft capital and all the options there. And that will be in your DMs on the Flock tab within like 72 hours, I think, 48 to 72 hours. My favorite picks that I'd like Badaki to highlight is any pick that gives you Bucky Irving, I love. I like Monty to Chubbard move. If you can get Brees Hall, I love. If you can get Jacobs. These are all moves that I love personally. So, appreciate you, man. Thanks for the support. That was a really fun team to review. And I think you're in a fantastic position, man. I really do. All right.
Awesome.
Moving on to Biggin 528.
Big Bigs. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the support. By the way, Oxy Stone, you'll get that playbook within...
I said that,
48. Okay. Awesome.
Sorry. I covered the bases for you while you were away. I just want to, don't want you to waste your breath.
All right. Biggins is next here. This is a 1 quarterback, 12 team start 8. Okay, so 1 quarterback, 12 team start 8 is basically meat and potatoes there.
I'm just going to bring over his chalkboard. Sorry, go ahead. So, yeah, meat and potatoes, yeah.
Meat and potatoes. And he says, the context here says, keep up the great work, guys. Would love a review of where I stand on my league going into 2025 and what changes you would make since at this stage. Okay, once again, 12 team, 1 quarterback, start 8. This is half PPR, by the way.
Half PPR, no tight end premium, 1 quarterback. Let's get in that mindset. By the way, shout out to Kelly. Says that as a commissioner, they're moving towards reverse max 0.4. I personally think that it's the only way to stop tanking. Otherwise, people will stop setting lineups on purpose. And why wouldn't they? All right, Blood, Sweat, and Beers is the team name. He is ranked number 1, according to my rankings.
First. Yes, he was ranked first out of 12.
8-6 last year. Walk us through this team.
Yeah. Joe Burr, Bryce Young, great quarterback room in the one quarterback league. The running back room, Bucky, Ramondre, Rashad White, Charbonnet, Jalen Wright. So it looks like he hit on Bucky last year, which is phenomenal. Maybe he had to get a better RB2 potentially in this draft if you didn't have the draft capital. At the wide receiver position, Nico Collins, Drizzy, Rasheed Rice, T. Higgins, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Brandon Ayuk. And the list goes on there with Mark Andrews and Dalton Schultz.
Consolidation.
Consolidation.
We are consolidating everywhere with this team. Sorry, continue, but it's consolidation city with this roster.
And that's pretty much it. And you have 1, 2, 3 first round picks, 1, 2 second round picks, 2/3.
And you got all your picks upcoming.
Yeah,
fantastic.
A lot of picks, and you still have your own first. And I wonder if some of these firsts are going to be early for you.
There's a team named IR All Stars South and IR East All Stars.
Okay. That's
IR All Stars South is 6-8. IR East All Stars is 3-11, and there's also IR All Stars, which was the worst record. So probably the 102 and the 103 or 4
around there
in that range. But draft capital is great. I mean, probably an A range. Overall team, let's think through the starting lineup. You got Burrow, then you'd start Bucky, Ramondre, I guess, then Nico, London, Andrews. Then you can flex 3 names. I'm not reading that right. Hold on. Let me do that again. Burrow, Bucky, Stevenson, Nico, London, Andrews. And then you would flex 2.
Then you would flex Rasheed Rice, T. Higgins.
So that means DJ Moore, Adunze, Ayuk do not contribute to your starting lineup on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah.
We are absolutely consolidating everywhere across the board. Great team. I'm going to say with the draft capital, this is A-.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. A-. I feel like it could be just an A. I think he has his own first. He has everything outside of his 4th round pick, and he has his 26th first.
Yeah. Let's put A flat. I'm fine with that.
And I think this is
your untouchables for me. Bucky Irving. I know everyone in the world right now is telling you to sell high on Bucky Irving. I'm not one of those people. I'm sorry. I can't do it. All right. Video's coming out on Monday, your Monday. I cannot wait for you guys to see that video. My best take since CJ Stroud last year. Now, Bucky's there. I would typically say Burrow, but in a one quarterback, I'm not going to. How about Bucky and the first from IR East All-Stars? I think those are your untouchables. Actually, no, because we could still trade that in one quarter. I mean,
I feel like
Bucky and Nico.
I'll say, yeah, let's keep it simple, Bucky and Nico. And if we do move Nico, that's okay. We're moving him to probably maximize in different areas here.
Yeah, I think we'd move like someone else to maximize, but yeah, let's put Nico.
Yeah, Bucky and Nico there.
You can drop Clyde pretty easily.
Yeah.
You can drop Tim Patrick. You can drop Treylon Burks. I'm going to pretend like he never existed. You can drop... You could probably drop Zach Moss, but he was on a 2-year deal, so you might as well hold him. Let's go with those 3 names alone.
Yeah, let's do the 3 names. And then holds, we're just going to do Rasheed Rice.
Definitely Rasheed. I would add Adunze Ayuk there. Whichever one you prefer.
Let's just put Rome. We have enough to fill out there.
Team pathway. This is... I mean, honestly, you're not far off from Thanos. You're like
I would say this.
Jameer Gibbs with Bucky away from Thanos.
I would say this. I would say if one of these picks are a top 3 pick and you get an Ashton Genty, Amaron Hampton on this team, this is a Thanos team.
if you make the right trades, because right now Thanos has to have a Chase, Jefferson, Gibbs. You know what I mean? If you make the right trades, but right now contender status, which is I don't think we've given out a Thanos yet. Have we?
Haven't. We almost did. We almost did.
Yeah.
And then we reeled it in.
Okay.
But this is how do you feel? The overall team grade, just an A?
Yeah, I'd say A
flat. Yeah, I think A flat is a good.
I'm A minus range. Okay, so with those picks, again, we don't really know exactly what they look like. We're kind of guessing right now, but let's say 2025, it's either the 102 or the 103. I think it's in that range.
Yep.
He also, tell me the other picks that he has.
2 seconds and 3.
Sorry, I mean, he has his own first.
Sorry, he has his own first. He has IR All-Star South, which is a bottom team.
I'm saying that one of those picks is the 102 or the 103, and the other is the 104 or the 105. And then his is mid to late first, and then he has how many seconds?
2 seconds, and then 2/3.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a great amount of draft capital. I'm not so sure I wouldn't use some of this to really get that starting lineup star-studded, but we'll play the 2 different scenarios as we always do, stick and pick, and then we'll play the scenario where we maximize
I would
value.
agree. I was thinking about it. I would agree because if it's not Ashton Genty or Marion, depending on where Marion goes, to be completely honest with you. Actually, no. I think if it's not Ashton Genty, let's move these picks for solidified players. Not saying you can't draft these players, but let's just get guys that we know are going to produce and have produced in the past, instead of hoping that a Marion hits, instead of hoping that Luther hits or Tet hits. You know,
like in this scenario, you go Tet McMillan, or a Hampton, or a Burden, or a Caleb Johnson. Like, that's the kind of range. And it's not actually different from the next pick either. But
no,
I personally, if it were me, if I do have the 102, I would trade back from the 102 or the 103, or I would trade back. So there's actually 3 scenarios I want to talk about here. Or I would just trade it for, I'd say use in trade to get star lineup, basically. Like, we'll talk about what that means. But, yeah, so there's 3 different scenarios here. Right? And I don't want to make it confusing, but I think it's important to walk through all the options they have. Let's play scenario 1. Stick and pick. All right, we already talked about what that could look like. I mean, does he even need a tight end? Maybe with one of those late firsts, you know, he can do a Buka. He can add a Loveland. He can add a Tyler Warren. I don't know, right? And then with these, we can just go true BPA it, and we don't really know exactly what the answer is for those yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
that's stick and pick.
Yes. Now, if we go option 2, which is maximize value, that could look like the 102 or the 103, right? And we're trading back to the 104 to the 108 range. I mean, this is one quarterback, so we have to keep that in mind. But I don't think that's, like, for me, it doesn't really impact too much this year like it did last year, right? Plus a future first. Imagine you went from the 102 to the 107, but you got a future first. Then we can use the 107 and the future first and a player on our team to go out and make that starting lineup as good as it could possibly be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the other option is by just using these trades. And again, I don't really know 102 or 103. We don't know what it is. But using them to get one hell of a starting lineup. For example, T. Higgins in the 102 or the 103. and we're going to go out there and get... I mean, does that not put you Jefferson range? CD range? Surely that puts you CD Lamb range.
Yeah. And the guy that has CD needs some... I can use it first maybe if he wanted to. Doesn't have capital.
Yeah, he has no future draft capital, so it would be an option there as well. I mean, we can even go beyond this. Try to go for Jamar Chase and add... Who else does he have on his team? I'm trying to remember. He had add a Stevenson Ayuk, maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to find Jamar Chase here.
Right?
Yeah. He has Jamar Chase and CD. Interesting.
So I mean, TD Flip makes a great point. So this will give us an opportunity to allow him to tear down to Higgins. And we might be paying too much there. I mean, you might be able to ask for Jamar Chase in a future second or something. I don't know. But just as an example.
Yeah.
Can we go get Justin Jefferson? Who has Justin Jefferson?
Justin Jefferson, the team that Cooper Cup of Coffee.
Okay, they've got Jefferson, Puka. Could we get either of those two names? Can we send them the 102 or the 103 and Higgins? And can we get Justin Jefferson plus something? Can we also try that for Puka plus something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Don't mind it.
consolidation. So Jefferson plus... what? Second or future first?
Yeah, that's what.
Or sorry, second or Swift is what I meant to say.
So add a second. So the 102, the 103 plus T plus Puka in a second, or Swift, sure.
Right. So that could work. But really, if you're going to tear it from T. Higgins, that's where the range stops. But the great news is, what we can do is we don't have to use T. Higgins. You've got so much depth. We can use... I don't really want to use DJ Moore, but Adunze. Be nice to get off,
one of those guys.
One of those guys. And I think Adunze's ranked higher. He's the easier one to sell, even though he had a terrible season. The 102 or the 103 plus Adunze, does that get us...
Like a Monroe or something?
Yeah, I think a Monroe St. Brown range.
Where's a Monroe? This St. Brown's baggers. He doesn't have a first.
Okay.
In 25. He has a Monroe. He could probably use another young wide receiver there. I'll take a Monroe.
What about Neighbors?
Malik, yeah. Look for Purdy Neighbors.
What about
He has
Brian
25
Thomas?
first.
Right.
Yeah, Brian Thomas is interesting as well.
So the other route is we go and we get a running back, right? We use the 102 and the 103 plus Adunze. Does that get us Bijan Robinson? I think we'd have to pay more in a one quarterback, but we would add Brandon Ayuk as an example. Does that get us Jahmyr Gibbs? Are we willing to send the 103 for Saquon? 102 the 103 for Saquon?
Yeah.
This is like the funnest team to send ideas for. That is really the type of motion we're moving for you.
We moving, baby. We got some motion in the ocean tonight.
Yeah.
I think this is a phenomenal team. I think less is more with this team. Obviously, if you can move these picks on, even though we just gave you all these scenarios, but in reality, if you can just move some of these picks for an elite running back, for an elite wide receiver, that really changes so many things.
You know what I just thought of as well? Let's go get Brock Bowers, baby. Let's do the 102 or the 103 plus Mark Andrews. Let's go get Mark. Let's go get Brock Bowers. Why the hell not?
Yeah, I'm just looking. Big Poppy, who you have. Oh, you don't have his first. I thought you had his first.
And by the way, all the trades that we're talking about right now, let's say you actually have the 102, the 103, because of those 2 first-round picks. We don't know exactly what they are, but just interchange these picks. Try all these different picks for all these different players. But
Yeah,
it is all about the motion of the ocean, isn't it? But I am obsessed with. I wish I had this team because I would love. I would be a day trader, right? I would be addicted to sending trades to all the different people in my league. Something that probably goes without saying, but like I would combine your 225 seconds for any future first, if anyone's sucker enough to do that in the actual NFL draft or in the actual rookie draft.
Rookie drafts.
I mean, I would
I don't
add.
think anyone's not going to do that anymore.
I would add an insane amount of players to it as well. Stevenson, Leggett, right? I would add any amount of these players to get that done, but most people are smart enough now not to do that. I really think we have dominated this team review.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for all the support. You will receive this within 48 to 72 hours, your physical digital copy on the Flock Fantasy website. So make sure you stay tuned to there. But we appreciate you. This is a phenomenal team, really close to Thanos here. If you get some of these moves done, you're Thanos. That means you are worlds away. You have completed and gotten all the Infinity Stones. You snapped your finger, and it's 5 years into the future, and they're still trying to catch up to you. Okay.
The last thing I'd like to do is just paint a picture. I always like to do this for our people. I think if you and I were to say our favorite pathway here, it would be draft capital 3, option 3, which is trade for a starting lineup. So let's play out this world. Let's say we got the Jamar Chase deal done. Okay. And then we used the 104 and the 105. I'd like to play out the world where we get a Jahmyr Gibbs as an example, right? The 104, the 105, Anna Dunze, and Ayuk. Let's just play out this world. So let's just say you got those trades done on their own. So no Ayuk, no Higgins, but now we have Jamar freaking Chase. And we also have... Oh, well, we can't play out both of those worlds because they're the same players. But let's just play out the world where we landed Saquon, okay? So our starting lineup would be Burrow, Bucky, Saquon, Chase, Collins, Andrews, London Rice. That's insane. That's an insane starting lineup. But those were my 2 favorites. The Gibbs, Chase.
Yeah, I'll do the Brock Bowers one if you can get that done somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And then let's do...
How about the Monroe one, or Neighbors? Yeah.
Yeah, really. Or Neighbors, that's what I was thinking as well. Still Monroe.
All right. That is probably the most fun I've had reviewing a team this offseason. That was a lot of fun. Is there anything we didn't cover that we need to?
No, we got everything. Clearly a contender, almost Thanos. We got A+, or not A+, A flat, but we appreciate you, man.
All right, bro. That was fun. Thanks. Last team we'll look at today is going to be Kelzion. I think tomorrow, Badaki, we need to do maybe a dedicated stream to team reviews.
Tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Is today Wednesday? For us?
Today is Wednesday for us.
Yeah, so you want to do 2 back-to-back dedicated?
Oh wait, no, yeah, because we're gonna do that Friday already, right?
On Friday,
yeah,
that's
so let's do it. Let's do a rookie draft tomorrow, and then the team reviews after. And Friday. By the way, we're talking our time, so that's Wednesday night for you guys.
Wednesday night and
rookie draft. Night. Thursday night for you guys will be straight team reviews.
Exactly.
All right, Calzone's next.
Appreciate you. All right, let's get this team going.
Do you like calzones, by the way?
Oh,
Do you like
love
jazz?
calzones. Do you like jazz? I love calzones.
Yeah. I fucks with them hardcore. I love a calzone.
Fucks with them hardcore. I appreciate you. It says in year 2 of a rebuild, looking for advice. I have the 25, 101, 68, 203, 301, and probably 2 top 5 picks in 26. Traded the 101 now for the 103. Excuse me, for the 104 in Burden and the 107. Or ask for
Hold
3
on,
first,
they can't hear you.
Or wait for draft.
They can't hear you. My mic went out. I'm sorry.
Okay. No?
I was trying to motion.
You were trying to motion? You were trying to get the motion in the ocean?
All right, let's start that over again. Go ahead.
All right. It says in year 2 rebuild, looking for advice. I have 25, 101, 106,
I love when people do this, by the
203.
way. I love when they tell us exactly what they have.
Yeah. 301 and probably 2 top 5 picks in 26. Trade the 101 now for 104, which will be Luther Burden, and the 107, or ask for 3 first. Or wait for draft. Take Genty, something else.
Cool.
Thanks in advance, guys. Love your videos and analysis. Take care. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for putting all that context in there. That's actually really helpful. And for anyone that is watching now or in the future, if you do get a team review, even if your team does have either the rookie picks inputted, maybe it'd just be good to have it in the description as well, because that also really helpful. Put as much context as you possibly can there. But this is a 10-man league. This is a 2-quarterback 10-man start 8, which means this is, if I'm not mistaken, that is a meet and no start 10. Excuse me, that is middle ground and a super flex.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so you
I was gonna say meat and potatoes.
3 flex spots probably. This is what most of our follower leagues look like from a lineup perspective. But team name is Kilmer's Coyotes, and you're currently ranked 8th. And before we look at your team, I will say from the get-go, you are in year 2 of a rebuild, so you've acknowledged that, but this is not a good sign of your team's current outlook. But that doesn't mean you're a bad team. That doesn't mean we can't help. We're definitely going to help. Let's get to his team. Team 8. Go ahead. Kilmer's Coyotes Superflex 10-team league. Oh no.
At the quarterback position, Superflex, like Zach said, Justin Herbert, and really no quarterback to speak of at the QB2 position. Aiden O'Connell, Daniel Jones, Jordan Travis. So you definitely need a QB2 somehow, some way. We'll definitely talk about that. At the running back position, also doesn't look like you have much running backs. Zach Charbonnet, Isaiah Davis, and the list goes on with really nobody there. So 2 positions already that you are struggling in at the QB2 position, in the RB1 and RB2 position. At the wide receiver position, keep in mind you can start either up to 5 wide receivers or 5 running backs. Jackson Smith and Jigba, T. Higgins, Jordan Addison, Jalen McMillan, Ricky Pearson, Malik Washington, and the list goes on. So you do have some high upside guys here that can definitely fill in your roster at those flex positions. And at the tight end position, where you're also struggling at, is Kate All and Eric All, and the list goes on. Okay.
Well, if this was a 12-team league, I'd probably give this team a C-. So considering that it's a 10-team league, I think this is D range. Probably a D+. So it doesn't hurt so much. We'll add the plus. But
it doesn't hurt so much.
We will keep saying it every time we do reviews. You guys keep coming back. People keep coming back for reviews. So obviously they love it. But you will find nothing but full transparency and honesty on this stream. And this team is not good. This team is a D+ team. Again, if it was 12 team, it would be a little bit like you could paint the picture a little bit more. But for a 10 team, you got to have 10 teams that are stacked. And in a 10 team, your starting lineup has to look very, very good.
Yeah, let's look at this team let's see. Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, Patrick Mahomes, Brees, Derek, Brian, Travis. He has Justin Jefferson, Nico Rice, Marvin, Ayuk, Terry, Jerry, Reed. TJ Hawkinson as the quarterback or tight end, excuse me. No first round picks. He has a first round pick in 26.
Yeah, no Thanos in this league, so that's good.
No, it's not bad.
I definitely think this is still a rebuild. I mean, he acknowledged it himself in year 2 of a rebuild. I mean, the good news is you're in year 2, and to your credit, just like bright side here for a second, you did do a great job of accumulating draft capital. While we've graded your team as a D+, we will give your draft capital grade an A+. So at least you are rebuilding the right way. Like, respectfully, you want your team to kind of look like dog shit if you're rebuilding, and you want to have a good amount of draft capital and some pieces we can build around, and you have that. So while it's a D+, you haven't done anything wrong necessarily. It's just this is the current status of your team. Strong full rebuild. I don't think I could say 1-year punt yet, because we don't have a quarterback 2 in a superflex league. No. It's not a 1-year punt. This is a full rebuild, and it's not a good year to bet on quarterbacks. Now, this is a team where I don't see a scenario where I keep the 101. I guess I do. Like, the scenario where I keep the 101 is no one's actually willing to give me a haul. But most likely, I am definitely pivoting off the 101 and trying to absolutely maximize value. Now, you don't have an untouchable. It doesn't exist. It's a Fugazi. Your untouchables are your future first round picks. Your untouchables are your 26 and your 27 first round picks. You do not trade those. It would make no sense whatsoever to trade those. You can trade your 101 because we're going to get a haul, but your untouchables are really only your own first round picks. As far as holds, I think you can make a strong case for Ricky Pearsall as a hold.
Mm-hmm.
A lot can happen with San Francisco this offseason. First round pick. You can make Malik Washington a hold, no doubt about it. You can make T. Higgins a hold, because if he does sign a long-term contract as a rebuilder team, that gives you even more oomph after an incredible season to go out there and sell him high. And then I also think you can add Jordan Travis probably as the other hold if you're looking for 4. We can easily part ways with Israel Boniconda.
Yeah, I put
Bub Means.
I'll see what I put. I put Bub Memes.
Palmer,
I put Xavier Hutchinson.
Thrash.
Yeah, all those guys.
Those guys,
Barner.
You're just not going to be building around them. I'd hold Barner, actually. He's had some good games when Fant was out.
Jamari Thrash. Okay, we'll keep the wide receivers as a theme there. Okay, so once again, you'll get that in your Dynasty playbook. Once you receive all those holds, all those drops, may not see all those players there, but you'll know when you watch the live stream here. So this is full rebuilds, and we got some capital here, which is exciting.
That's where the meat is in this rebuild, in this review. If you stick and pick, obviously you're going to go Ashton Genty. I don't think you're a team that should build around Ashton Genty right now, because I don't even know if you're competing next year. That's why we didn't say 1-year punt. But if we stick and pick Ashton Genty, it's a super flex league. So at the 106, there's a ton of names that come to mind. If Burden somehow falls there, I don't think Hampton will be there, but maybe Caleb Johnson. I doubt it. Henderson, maybe. This is the range of, like, I guess in theory, you can take a shot on a quarterback if one of them goes top 5.
Yeah, one of these quarterbacks can go, obviously, in Shador or Cam.
Then when you go further down the board, Burden's probably not there, but Henderson, a quarterback, might be there. You know, a Loveland, a Warren might be there. That's probably your range.
Yeah.
The 203, impossible to say BPA, right? Impossible to say with these picks right now. That is an option. Now, I like the plan for the 106 and the 108, but I do not think we should stick and pick at the 101.
Yeah. I completely agree, and this is kind of what we saw in another team review, maybe yesterday or a couple of days ago, which you did ask in your context here, where Zach and I were kind of not arguing about, but we were trying to talk it through.
Yeah.
Which do you sell the 101 at its absolute peak after the NFL draft, where people know the landing spot of Ashton Genty?
Yeah.
Asking for 3 firsts, like you just mentioned. And if no one gives that to you, that's okay. Or do you hold Ashton Genty for the year and then sell him for 3 firsts, knowing what that value is what you hope that value is going to be with those 3 firsts? I think it's a minimum. At the moment, it feels like it has to be 3 firsts, because he instantly becomes the RB3 in Dynasty.
I was going to make an argument in a 10-team league. I probably would place a value higher than 3 firsts, because the people who traded away Gibbs and Bijan because they weren't ready, they probably regret, unless they hit big time. I mean, they probably traded away for 2024 picks. They probably don't regret it, but I can't project 2026 the same way right now. 2027 looks great, but do you really want to push it that far? But all I'm saying is, in a 10-team league, I think it almost needs to be 3 firsts in a kicker. And when I say kicker, not an actual kicker, like a
something else, like an add-on or something. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I personally would just hold Genty and just see what I can get.
I would have the intention to trade him. However, if the deal isn't there, I'm not going to force it.
I agree. I completely agree. So we're on the same page there. Continue.
So again, only trade in, I'd say after NFL draft, only trade if you get a haul, right? And let's talk about what that means. So, for example, we have no idea who has the other picks, but you go to the 103 and 2 future firsts, plus, I'm just thinking out loud, like a Jameson Williams type asset, right? Or, another name when you're watching this, like Josh Downs, Tyrone Tracy. You know what I mean?
It has to be one of these younger guys that could still develop, right? I mean, maybe not that crazy young, but like you take chances on some of these younger players.
And if people aren't willing to pay this price, fine, don't sell.
Mm-hmm. Who's Thanos here? So Thanos doesn't have any picks, any players. Interesting.
The other option is you don't have to tear down, but you can, in the draft, but you can get let me go to my ranking. Like, for example, Bucky plus 2 firsts. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to stay in the draft.
No, not at all.
You can go that range. You can go Achane plus 2 firsts. Right? You can go...
All right, continue.
Would you do, like, Rice and 2 firsts?
Yeah. Rice and 2 future firsts. I feel like you technically should get more.
Yeah.
Like, we value Rice because, like, that person doesn't value Rice, hypothetically.
So the 101 plus a 2027 second, and for Rice and 3 firsts?
Perfect. I'm okay with that. So get 3 firsts and Rice if you can.
I think you can do that same deal for JSN.
I think we also have to keep in mind that, like, we're asking for 3 firsts, and he already has 1, 2, 3, 4. That means the chances of somebody having 2 firsts and
not in 25 though. I don't want these picks in 25.
Yeah. Well, not in 25. You're right. I'm just saying in the future potentially. Anyways, continue.
I love the idea of Marvin Harrison Jr. here as well. Imagine that, the 101 for a lot of people last year, and now you're... Does he already have Jason? Does he already have Jason? Someone mentioned that.
He does have JSN.
Let me take that away. That's my bad. Appreciate that.
So it looks like there's only 2 people that have
what about
picks in 25. Actually, that's so interesting.
What about Garrett Wilson? Well, I think I'd do it for Garrett Wilson too, but take away the second. Anyway, so again, you don't have to stay in the draft. You can get a little more creative. For example, if Bucky is a player that I think he is, then this is technically valued at 3 firsts, but I think you could sell Bucky for 2 firsts in season, if not more. So you actually turn the 101 into 4 first-round picks of value. And again, if no one's willing to pay these prices, like Badaki said, we hold Ashton Genty.
That's it.
And then in a year from now, he's probably going to be just as valuable. We've seen that with Gibbs and Bijan anyway. Now, he mentioned in the review that he said trade the 101 for the 104 and the 107. I think that's massively undervaluing the 101 this year.
Yeah. He said, or ask for 3 firsts. Yeah. And look, keep in mind, he's probably talking about trading with, like I said, I was looking through the teams. There's only 2 teams essentially that he has 4 firsts, and married to Dynasty, to Nasty, has another 4 firsts.
Yeah.
So he's probably trading with this guy.
And there is a scenario where you have to keep Genty. That scenario exists, and it's not the worst case scenario, right? But these are some examples of how you can maximize that list. I mean, I don't think outside of Bucky, I don't think I'd go JT with this team, or Saquon.
Yeah.
Like a Saquon doesn't make sense for this team.
No, it doesn't make sense for this team.
And I don't think you could get Brian Thomas straight up for the 101. So that wouldn't work. Yeah, I think that's kind of the range of outcome you have there. Now, I think you definitely stick and pick with your other picks, though, if you go that route.
Yeah.
Right? I think you still...
I agree.
You still stick and pick for... he thinks Burton's going at the 104, so let's say you end up with Caleb and a quarterback, right? Let's say that's the outcome of your draft. It's not bad. I mean, you can sell Caleb in season, or you can build around him if you want, right? You don't have to have no running back help. Caleb, you get a Cam Ward in there, and all these other moves that you've made. I think you're in a good position. I think this time next year, we could be telling you you're a 1-year punt. And that might not sound exciting, but that's a great direction to be moving towards.
Oh, 100%, because then some of these guys could still hit, right? Like, let's just say, worst case scenario, you stick and pick.
Yeah.
Right? You have Ashton Genty. Let's say you get a quarterback in Shedeur Sanders and Caleb, and then you get a running back in Caleb Johnson. So you have Justin Herbert, Shedeur Sanders, Ashton Genty, Caleb Johnson, and then you have Jackson Smith and Jigba. T. Higgins starting, still no tight end, which is fine. And then you have Jordan Addison, Jalen McMillan, maybe Ricky Pearsall takes off. So then you have 2 or 3 pieces that you still have to fill in, which is fine because you have capital in 26. Yeah. So that sticking and picking is not terrible. You just have to hope they hit. That's the next thing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. And, also Loveland and Warren are in consideration at that 108 too.
100%. That can also change.
But, yeah.
That's actually perfect.
The more I view this team, I feel like D+ is harsh. But it's a 10 team. I keep forgetting that. It's a 10 team. I feel like that's accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's accurate. And once again, this team can definitely be better in a year from now or by April.
Yeah.
They're probably not contending to the next level. But it just all depends on what happens. So I think this is good.
As far as players, I think T. Higgins, post contract, we can say you could look to get 2 future firsts, most likely. I wouldn't be looking to sell anyone else necessarily. Charbonnet feels like more like a hold. And I don't think you get anything for anyone else. So, yeah, I think that's kind of where the ball rolls. So, love the Rice one. a lot. I love the Bucky one. T. Higgins, do you have one in mind?
Let's see. Let's do Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
And
Actually, we should highlight the trade down in the draft. Sorry. Because we didn't highlight a trade down in the draft.
That works as well.
Let me remove one of these. Is there one that you like that we don't have highlighted?
No, it doesn't necessarily matter.
That's the way we would move with this team, my friend. You are not far off from getting in that C-B range if these draft picks hit. And like Badaki said, if some of these players continue to develop. But I appreciate you. Sorry if that was harsh, but it was honest. And I think it's going to be very helpful and direct feedback moving forward. But that team, last thing I'll say, that is not a team where under any scenario you trade away your future first-round picks. We did have a trade question that came in from Port Dog that I wanted to answer. If you guys don't know, you can submit a trade question on the Flock Fantasy website. It's where that little button at the bottom is, personal advice. Trade question, you can submit there, super message, obviously the team review like we mentioned. But Port Dog submitted a trade question. It's a Dynasty 2 quarterback league. 12 teams start 9. One side will get Tua and Olave. The other side will get the first and Devonta Smith. This is very easily the first and Devonta Smith for me.
Smith. I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. By the way, Kels, you will receive your playbook within 48 to 72 hours. It's a digital version of the Dynasty playbook in the Flock Fantasy message system, so definitely stay tuned for that. We'll try to get that to you as soon as possible. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support, and we'll see. Yeah.
We also have another trade question from C. Fraz, who says, currently rebuilding, just looking to increase value. They'd be sending away Ayuk, receiving Monty and Dell. I don't believe Dell is a long-term viable option. So I almost view this as like a straight up, especially in a 10 team. I'm going to keep Ayuk myself. But it's even value.
Yeah.
It's even value.
It's even value.
He's rebuilding.
I mean, hell, I think it's even value with just swapping Ayuk and Monty potentially. But yeah, if you're rebuilding, I think it's fine. But
if he's rebuilding, he's getting Monty, and I prefer Ayuk.
Sure, that makes sense.
But it is even value. I don't really know how much Tank Dell is really going to be able to contribute to our rosters. I want him to, but the man's been through hell. Let me make sure there are no other trade questions before we log off for today.
No, we appreciate it. I see TD Flip here says, I want to know if Badaki thinks of Tyrone as the future of Giants football. I think he could be. I think we can easily draft another running back that could compete with him. I know we have Devin Singletary there. But for me, it just really depends on who's of value there, because I wouldn't be surprised if someone of value that they really like falls into the third round and they take a running back that they really love. And we've seen that in the past with Brian Dable and Joe Shane, especially with the Bills. You know, they drafted Zach Moss, or they drafted Devin Singletary. Then the next year they drafted Zach Moss, and then it was a 50-50 split. None of them could really take it out to the next level, so it just really depends.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, won't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it for today, guys. If your name is Sam Stew, Happen, Vishred, your reviews will definitely take place tomorrow. If your name is Scrooty, Showcase Snabs, it will definitely happen this week, and honestly, probably we'll get through the rest of the queue. Whoever's
probably try and get to the rest of it. Yeah, maybe we'll do, depending on how we go tomorrow. But yeah.
All right, guys. Well, can't say thank you enough for today's stream. It was very fun. Shout out to Daniel Ricciardo on Shantae. If you don't know, now you know. And we had fun. The startup draft is at the beginning of the stream if you want to go watch that. If you want your team reviewed, if you want your Dynasty playbook, there's two ways you can get it: by purchasing one a la carte or by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. Those are your two options. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We'll see you soon. All love.
Love.